Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery. Thank you for joining me today. Um, so I put the comments up on the screen over here, and it looks like they're actually coming up in StreamYard right away. I have a kitten here trying to attack these strings. We have these, the pull strings, you know. Um, Tallulah loves those. And every time I let her in here, she tries to do that. I have the door open because it's so cold in here right now. We have this room usually closed off, and um, it's too cold. So I had to open the door to let some heat come in, let some of that cold air go out. And of course, Tallulah thinks it's her job now to tell these strings who's boss. So it's not Tallulah. It's not your job. Would you like to see everybody? You want to come up here? Here, honey. Let me see ya. Let's see everybody. There she is. There's that pretty girl. She's a pretty girl, isn't she? My baby. Yeah. Okay. Gertie, don't be jealous. If I hold any of the other girls, Gertie here gets very jealous. Yeah, don't you, baby? She's my little girl. Huh. Okay, now you can go. She doesn't like it when anyone gets more attention than her. So let me say hi to people since I actually have comments. It's amazing. And they seem to keep coming. So that's even more amazing. Because normally we get a few comments at the startup if there are a few. And then as soon as I start the live actually going, the comments stop. And they're not. So that's great. Kimberly's here. Says, hi, everyone. I hope you're staying warm. William, I hope you're able to get sufficiently warm after your mid-afternoon adventure. Yes, it took me a while. So if you missed all of that, well, let me say hi and then we'll go into my day. Says Andrew, I hope your migraine has subsided. Norma's here. Hello, Norma. Marianne is here. Susie's here. Hello, everybody. Norma says, I got about 2 inches of snow and a ½ inch of ice on top of it. Ooh, that's no good. 6 degrees Fahrenheit right now and going down to 1. I don't know what it is here right now. It's saying 11 with an extreme cold warning. That 11 comes with a feels like of, is it going to tell me? It's not going to tell me. My phone tells me. My computer doesn't tell me. Feels like -1. So it is an 11 with a feels like of -1 here right now. And that's not fun. That's not fun at all. But and it's supposed to get colder. It's supposed to go down to 6 degrees tonight, which is where Norma is right now. But tomorrow's going to be even colder. It's going to go to -1. We have -4, -9 on Saturday. It's going to be a cold week. It's going to be a cold week. And Marianne says, ick on the ice, Norma. Yes, ick on the ice. Thankfully, we've not had the ice yet. Let's see here. We have Jennifer's here again. Thank you for joining us. Is what a beauty. They both are. They're both beautiful kids. Brittany is here. I'm guessing Brittany. Thank you for being here. Says I subscribe, liked from St. Louis. Nice. Thank you for being here. Marianne says, hey, pretty Tallulah, and Gertie too, right? Gertie's a beautiful girl too. Whoa, those kids. Jocelyn is here. Hello. That's a new name I don't recognize. Thank you for being here. We appreciate y'all being here and hanging out with us. Leslie is here. Hello, Leslie. Good to see you again. Marion says it's currently 12 degrees Fahrenheit there. So the same as here. We're at 11. You're 12. But feels like -1 is what it's telling me because the wind is cold. It's very clear out there. It's true. It's very clear. It's cold. Um, Sandra's here. Hello, Sandra. Thank you from Sweet Pea Gemstones. Um, Leslie from Twisted Sister. Anybody else? Any other businesses I did say? Susan's here. Hello, Susan. The first Susan to arrive today. Um, yeah. Let me see if I'm getting, okay, I am getting comments. Everything is good. Susan got a bunch of mixed precipitation, but not awful. Yeah, how's everybody doing? If you missed it earlier today, I was up at the cottage shoveling. I wore myself out. My back hurts right now. It doesn't hurt so much as it is um, tense. You know that feeling where, it feels almost numb, but it's like tender. Like, I don't know what that, when you overwork your muscles and it's like they're exhausted. That's what my back feels like now from shoveling. The snow was so deep at the cottage, it was at least a foot. In some places up to 2 or more, depending on where it drifted. Marion says feels like 7 degrees Fahrenheit, so we're a little colder here. I can't believe it. But every shovel of snow to clear one shovel's width took about 3 scoops down, down, down until I got down to the ground, or the ground enough that the car would be able to get on there. So I was trying to clear the driveway at the cottage. I parked down the street, which I don't know how far that is. I'm terrible at lengths, but it was a good ways away. So I had to park down there because uh, the snow plows had plowed the snow right in front of the driveway, and I knew I couldn't get through that. But I'm glad that that was there, because if I would not have seen how high it was there, I may have thought that it wasn't as high further in, and it was. It was about at least a foot or more, at least halfway up our little driveway that we have. When it got closer to the building, to where we sometimes usually park, it was pretty much only a few inches up there. It had blown around. But right in front, of course, that's where our property kind of dips a little bit, and it dipped where everything looked flat, so it was a good foot or so. And so I shoveled that. I was going to shovel the whole thing, being crazy. I don't know why. I was like, I got through a portion of it, and then I said to myself, I am never going to get this all done. I may as well just go grab the bags of pellets, because I was refilling the pellet stove, and they are 40-pound bags of pellets. I'm like, I'm just going to go and grab them from the car and walk them up the highway. Um, I don't know why I did that, but I did. And in the meantime, I was shutting down the pellet stove so I could clean it out and get it ready for another burn. And um, I walked them all the way up. And then I realized I don't have to clear the whole driveway. I just have to clear a spot big enough for the car. And I think why I didn't think that originally is um, because I don't like backing out onto the highway. It's not something we normally do. And so in my mind, I had to have room to go up and kind of turn around and come out. And I didn't, not really. So I ended up clearing a space big enough for that. I had to clear a space away from our split system, the main big unit that's outside, because it was in the 2-foot deep snow. It was completely covered with snow. And so I had to clear that away, and so that it could hopefully defrost easier and continue to work, hopefully. Maybe. I hope. If it gets too cold, it can't pull heat out of the air anymore. It's like a heat pump. So then we rely on just the pellet stove. So I'd finally gotten the pellet stove cleaned out. I've gotten the shoveling done. I was coming into the cottage to warm up, and it was 40 some degrees in there. It was too cold. I got the pellet stove restarted. I cranked it up really high to try and warm the place up a little bit. And I I typed out a Patreon post. So if you're on our Patreon, you may have seen that. If you're not on our Patreon, it's a decent sized post just telling exactly what I just told you now, pretty much. But my hands were so cold, I literally had trouble typing. Like the keys were not activating. So I I gathered myself up. I shut down the computer so it wasn't running while it was that cold, and gathered myself up and I went home. Um, it was too cold. I stopped and got a few groceries, and that was it. That was life today. I did a lot of stuff from in the house. Of course, we always do. Took pictures of things. I did some stuff online. I shared some emails and all that. But um, it was cold. I was going to pack some packages. I took some to the post office today that I had done, but I could not do any more. That was I hit cold, and so I came home. And then a little bit later, my mom says, "Hey, I just was out shoveling my stuff, and." She said, I was just warming up and I caught your live. She says, I could get your dad and maybe come down and see if we could plow some. I didn't know she had the plow hooked up on her truck, because the last time I saw her, it wasn't on there. And my brother sometimes comes down to plow us out, but he had some issues, health issues, and blood clotting and stuff, so he can't drive very far. We don't like to push it, and driving here and sitting in and plowing things out and driving back would be a long time for him, I think. So I didn't even ask. And so my mom's like, "Yeah, I've got the plow on. We can come down." And I'm like, "It is way too cold, though." I didn't want them coming down, and if something happened, um, they're close. We could get them if something happened, but I didn't want the truck to break down, or you never know. And I'm like, "I got the place cleared out. It's fine. I have a nice little place for the car." And they uh, ended up sneaking over and clearing it out anyway for us. So it ended up getting plowed, which thank you, mom and dad. Um, I didn't expect that. And she just told me at one point, she's like, "Oh, we went over and did it. I didn't even know." So that's where that is. So that was my day. Anyway, Susan says got a bunch of mixed precip, but not awful. Um, let's see. Sandra says, well, it was cold. It's probably numb. You look so cold. Now or then? Both. I'm cold now. It's cold in here. But I was really cold then. My face was so red from one, exerting, shoveling. That was a lot of work. My heart was pounding, which I try not, because I had my heart issues. I try not to get too wild with the shoveling. I still think I can shovel like I was, pre-heart issues, and I try not to. I try to keep that in my mind that I'm not supposed to do that. Um, and my doctor, said it's okay to exercise and all that, but I didn't exercise much. I usually go running in the summers. I didn't have much time last summer to do any running. So I'm like starting from like a cold start out there so I'm like trying not to overdo it. Jennifer says Lancaster City, 15 at 15 degrees, feels like 2. Oh, yeah, that's cold. Susan says warm here, 24, but feels like 15. Yeah, you got a heat wave going on. Leslie says Philly real feel is 9 degrees now, although we got over 9 inches yesterday. That's wild. Um, Jocelyn says, I live in Texas. Hello to Texas. Says we are not made for snow. Our streets are completely iced over, so I haven't left home for a couple days. It looks like they're finally drivable though. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize that Texas got a lot of I didn't realize you got anything down there. So that's wild to me. Um, I hope everybody's okay. Sorry to hear that. That's it's hard not to leave your house. We are pretty good at not leaving our house. Andrew better than me. I like to leave the house at least once a day, and usually have to go do things. Yesterday, did I leave the house at all? I don't know if I did. I went out to shovel at least, but I don't know if that I went out to actually. I think I didn't leave at all. Andrew told me I wasn't allowed because the roads might be too bad still. So I went out to shovel just around the house, which I did that earlier today before I went to the cottage too. Um, and had to shovel and talk to our neighbors. Everybody's out shoveling at the same time. And our one neighbor brought the snow blower over, and she snow blowed the whole driveway for us, which was amazing because I was not looking forward to shoveling our driveway. Okay. One moment, everybody. Back again. Had to close the door. Obviously, I've got cats turning off our lights here, pulling extension cords that are pulling lights out of the wall. So I got my cover, my blankie here to cover myself because it is chilly in this room. Um, I don't know where I was. Where was I? I don't know. Um, Marion says 9 inches is enough, but not a snowmageddon. That's 2 to 3 feet in 24 hours. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that. Um, Sandra says, "What a nice surprise! You got plowed out, your mom and dad." Yeah, it was super nice. They said there's even room to go in there and turn around now, so that's awesome. I think my mom, she said she was really concerned. She wanted to do it before, like now. Like even though I didn't want her coming up here, it was going to be the warmest day, but also she wanted to do it now before it got super cold because it's getting even colder. Like we have a cold warning right now and for like the next few nights. Um, and she didn't want the snow that had laid there now to like get really cold and condense into ice, and then the plow wouldn't be able to do much. So they ran down, snuck down here, and did it for us, which we really appreciate. I told them they shouldn't have, because it's, I don't want them getting stuck in the cold, or, it's an older truck. It runs well, but, you never know. I always worry. Let's see here. Um, ba, ba, ba. Oh, we got more new people. Let me try and get through these comments. I'm talking so much. Thank you all for hanging out. Um, don't pick up your shovel with snow on it. Also shovel at an angle like a plow truck. I was trying to shovel at an angle, but we're in the grass. Um, so it always gets caught up on everything. So it's really hard um, to push anything anywhere like that. Normally, that's how I try to do it, is try and scoop it along and push it along and kind of push it off to the side and not actually pick it up too much. But this was not possible there. This was like definitely not possible there, unfortunately. Leslie says Texas, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. Wow. Marion says Texas does occasionally get nasty cold weather and snow. Yeah, you do down there, right, Jocelyn? You get it once in a while, but I did not hear the reports. I haven't heard anyone from Texas in my friends group saying much of anything about that. So that's wild. Andrews is nice. So good to see you here, Jocelyn. Susie joined us. Hello, Susie. Valerie is here. Hello, Valerie. I'm in Manitoba, -36 here where I live. Is that fair? That's not Fahrenheit. That's Celsius, right? That's Celsius. Tell me that's Celsius, because that at least is a little bit better, right? What is -36 Celsius to Fahrenheit? Oh, that's not much better. That is not much better at all. It's -32.8. So -36 is -33. That's not much better at all. I guess once you get down to that cold, it's just cold. -43 is actually worse, -45 Fahrenheit. So never mind. Um, it's terrible. That's terrible. With the wind chill, we're hardy here. Um, by the way, our hearts are with you folks down there. I hope you understand we have your backs up here in Canada. Thank you. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, I don't like to talk about it too much on the air because, you know, I kind of wrote a post about that a little bit today. Um, we have to be careful with the business because you don't know how things will be used against you. And so we are a very small business, and we can't add that kind of fighting to the fight sometimes. But thank you. We appreciate it very much. And we are sorry. That's all I can say for all of you up there. We are sorry for what you have to deal with from us right now. Norma says, I haven't left the house since Friday. Right now, my tires are frozen to the ground in chunks of ice. It was too hard to hack through. Someone else told me today that they couldn't leave. I forget who. Rebecca said her car wouldn't start. It just wouldn't start. It was too cold. And so, yeah, I think it's a thing. I'm so thankful that, like I said, our neighbor came over and used the snowblower to blow away the stuff in the driveway. By the way, she cleaned it down to the cement, and by today there was already this much more on there, probably 2 to 3 inches more at least. At least. But at least, and then I shoveled around the tires because I know that can happen if you get the snow, and then sometimes it freezes real hard with the cold weather, or if it warms up any and there's a little bit of a thaw and then it refreezes. Although it doesn't sound like we're gonna have a thaw anytime soon. But yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you, Norma. I hope that you can get through it if you need to actually, if you need to get out. But hopefully you can just hang out at home and relax with your fur babies. Um, it says, ironically, my bag of ice melt is buried under ice. Yep. Yep. I don't think it'll work. Most ice melt isn't going to work at these temperatures. Well, maybe you're a little warmer, but not by much. Teresa's here. Hello, Teresa. Um, Marion says, iced up ice melt, right? It's true. It's true. Andrew said, oh, wait. Oh, there's Andrew says, I met Jocelyn at Penland. She was Sun Yun Chang's teaching assistant. Jocelyn is a super talented artist. That's awesome. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. It says follow her. Andrew says follow her on Instagram. Let's show that on stage. There. Go follow. Go follow. Um, I can't scroll the comments now that I did that. Okay, let's take it off there. Now I can scroll the comments. I didn't know it stuck the comments. Marion says, I've experienced that 3 or 4 times. Once my car got buried twice in less than 24 hours. That's no fun. No fun at all. Let's, Andrew said, some of the worst driving conditions I've been in were in Texas. Yeah, heading to Tucson probably, right? Terrible conditions. He's had to drive through. Let's see. Susan says, hi, Valerie. My parents used to go to Naples, Florida in the winter. A lot of their neighbors were from Manitoba. Nice. Marion Celsius, no, at really low temperatures, the numbers are almost the same. Yeah, that's wild. Charles says, yes, the worst. It's like a skating rink. It's very rare, but it happens. Ice is worse than everything, right? I'm glad we got snow, not ice. But it doesn't mean it's making my life easy. It's not. It is not. Susan is here. Susan Surreal, thank you for being here. Saying hi to everybody. Susan 2. Hi, Susan 2, says Marianne. Second Susan of the night. We've got a few that come through this way. Jennifer says, Jocelyn, I love your pomegranate jewelry. I've not gotten to see yet. Marion says, you must have wet snow. Our snow is kind of wet. It's an in between right now. When I would shovel it, it would come off in blocks. So yes, wet, but as soon as you kind of went to move it, it would start to kind of fall apart too. But it was more wet because when I was walking through it and sinking down into it, there wasn't as much snow going into my snow boots. Like when you get that really light, kind of drier snow, it's lighter and poofier usually, and then it falls down into everything. So at least this was not so bad, but it's cold and icy. Um, and it's more icy than wet. But there's all these differences in the snow, right? Um, I believe, um, is it in Canada, or I think some of the native peoples in Canada have like so many different words for so many different types of snow. And I can understand why. I can totally understand why. Um, Susan says, Brittany, hello. I'm in St. Louis too. Yeah, I thought of you whenever she said that, but I do not tell people where other people are from generally because that's not our job. And I know you say it here sometimes, but you never know. You don't want people to know. Try and keep it that way. But yeah, maybe make friends, right? Andrew says, last time I drove to Tucson, I drove through an ice storm. Oh, my comments just jumped. Sorry. Drove through an ice storm. The whole front of the van was covered in a coating of ice. We passed probably a dozen accidents. Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. Um, Marion says, fortunately, people at work dug it out twice. Well, that's nice. You got good people that you work with, right? That's a good thing. Let me see here. My comments, yeah, they're still going. Um, Andrew says, me too. I love her scorpion. She told me a story about how they'd put a rope around the kids while they were sleeping so scorpions wouldn't get them. That's interesting. Norma says, we had a dry snow, then the temperature rise, and we got the icy rain on top. Hence, the snow pile around my tires got iced over. Yeah, that's terrible. That's never good. Ice on top of snow, bad. Snow on top of ice, less bad, I think, because the snow helps give you some traction. And if it melts down into the ice a little bit, it makes that sheet of ice not so bad. But when you get ice on top, you've already got that heavy snow on stuff, and then you get the ice on top, and then it all crunches down. Luckily, we've not gotten ice yet. I hope it doesn't come. We're not supposed to get much more precipitation, I don't think, for the next few days. Well, for the next week, I don't see any precipitation in the forecast. So just extreme cold. So hopefully it's not going to go anywhere, but at least there won't be more. Jocelyn says, blah, 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 blah. Jocelyn says, thanks. Wait. Yeah. Thank you. Andrew gave me a lot of enamel tips, and that was the result. That's awesome. I like when people share things, right? We love sharing the knowledge and sharing, you know, just the joy of creating. Marion says, yes, that's wet compared to what we usually get at this time of year. Yeah. Yeah, our snow is not generally like this. It's usually one or the other. The really fluffy stuff or the stuff that are like you can see the water almost draining out of it as you shovel it. This is kind of different, I feel like. This is more like a sleety snow. Um, but it's not too bad. It's just that there was a lot of it. Like if I just had to shovel this is actually really good shoveling snow because it kind of gathers up on its own. You toss it to the side and it kind of disperses a little bit. And so it doesn't make huge piles of snow when you shovel it off. At least too bad. But there's just so much of it that it is now. But normally, this is the easy snow to get rid of, but there's a lot of it. And so it's not so easy when it's like a foot to 2 feet. It's where you're going to put it, right? Susan says it's very cold here in my area. We got 8 to 9 inches of snow. At least it wasn't ice, which is brutal. Yes. Um, Marion says supposedly over 40 types of snow for the Inuit. See, I could see that. I don't know how you keep track of that. I don't know how you can. I guess you experience it enough in your life that you learn the differences, right? But I'm like, this one was a little bit more like this. This one was a little bit more like this. How you would keep track of 40 different kinds of snow. I guess it's just your life at that point, right? Um, Andrew says, Jocelyn, your result was so good. I'm so proud of you. I miss our coffee breaks. Michelle is here. Hello, Michelle. Susan says, ice is hateful. Yeah, our driveway got a slick coating of ice before the snow. And that's why I said ice before the snow is not as bad, except as long as you know it's there. Luckily, our neighbor found out while she was not in a too dangerous location when she was snow blowing, because I didn't get back there at the moment she started to tell her, whoa, be careful because it's icy under there. But she found out just she by slipping a little bit, but she's like, be careful, there's ice. I said, I know. There's like one spot here where there wasn't ice. I was parking the car in like one particular place in the driveway so I could walk around the car and walk away from the ice. But yeah, ice, not fun. Not fun at all. Let's see what else. Oh boy, everybody, let me. Oh, whoa, whoa. Everybody's saying hi to Michelle. Susan says the most recent OS update is not making me happy. My keyboard keeps vanishing. For iOS? I don't know. I thought I had the most recent one. I've not been having that issue. If you're on iOS, did you restart? Just try restarting your phone or your iPad, whichever one it is. Give it like the real restart, like shut it off and then turn it back on and see if that helps. Because mine isn't doing that, but I don't know. I have not checked to see if there's a more recent update than the one I have. I'm usually pretty good at keeping up with them. Um, Everyone's saying hi. Everyone's saying hi. Andrew says, I don't know, but I'm allergic to snow. Yeah, as soon as it starts to snow, Andrew, like his nose starts running. He gets sinus problems. He had a migraine yesterday. The snow was shifting a little bit yesterday. I think it was shifting more away, but it was snowing overnight. And he just came down with a migraine last night. Every time it snows, he gets some kind of weird allergy symptoms, runny nose, clogged sinuses. Jennifer's posting the pomegranate set. Nice. Andrew says, seriously, I was sneezing my head off. Yeah, he was. That too. I don't know how many times I'm like, Gesundheit, Gesundheit, Gesundheit from the other room because he was in the dark in the living room with a migraine, sneezing his head off while I'm in the dining room because we have our computer down there and I was working on a few things and he's sneezing, sneezing. I'm like, Gesundheit, Gesundheit, Gesundheit. Susan says, ours started with snow too, but just a dusting. It got up to the mid 30s today, so that's real icy now. Oh, yeah, that little bit of melt. No good. Valerie says, for the past 2 weeks, we've just given up on going out. Every day the temps get above negative 25, we get another 10 inches of snow. That's terrible. My entertainment has consisted of watching the snowplow clear the driveway every 3 days. Good thing I'm a hoarder of crafting supplies and food, so I'm set for a while. That's good. And hopefully you can watch us. We come here every weekday. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So you can hang out with us, use us for some entertainment too. We're glad to have you. Thank you for joining us. And maybe we're going to do a live sale. We do a live sale every day too. We chat, hang out, do a live sale. You probably already know this, I know, but I like to tell people who may not know. And you might find some stuff you like, and then we'll ship it out to you. And hopefully at some point it'll get to you between all the weather and delays and all that that's going on in the world. Jocelyn says, Andrew, thanks, friend. I miss our coffee breaks too, and the late nights in the Penland studio. Teresa says, we got 15 inches of snow with drifts higher. Whew. Then we got ice on top. It is snowing again now, and we are expecting more on Saturday. It will be below freezing for 14 days. Yeah, I don't know how long we're going to be below freezing, but at least, let's see. Counting today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mine only does a 10-day forecast, and every single day is below freezing. But none of my days, they're all cloudy, by the way. Great. My SAD is going to be kicking up. But no, it doesn't show any precipitation. There's no little storm clouds or any snow clouds in that little picture. So that's terrible, Teresa, that you're getting. But if you're getting snow again, I would think that we would, I mean, maybe it would pass through here. I don't know. But maybe not. Maybe we'll get lucky. And I hope you get lucky too and not get all that snow. Marion says tunnels through the snow. We used to do that as kids, right? We would build tunnels through the snow and yeah, we would build houses in the snow. That was always fun too. Sorry, I'm trying to. My comments keep jumping, and it's making me crazy. Michelle got great news today. Let me scroll and see if we figure out what that is. Did you tell us, Michelle? Because I just got that so far. Andrew says Facebook just updated. Oh boy, I got a Facebook update a few days ago, where I cannot tap my face to change profiles. I have to go into each profile, then slide a thing over, then change a profile. It's annoying. And then all my about information changed. Everybody's about information looks different. I got that a few days ago, but Andrew always has an even different version of Facebook from me. He says they just made the font smaller. I don't think mine font got smaller. I didn't notice it if it did. So it's probably different. Susan says it's my iPad that's being a pain. I'll try what you suggested later. Okay. Do you have it connected to a keyboard or you use the on-screen keyboard? That's another thing. If you have it connected to a keyboard, there might, like mine's going haywire. This last update or two, it does, and I don't know if it's a problem because my keyboard is very old. The keyboard case I use, I don't know if it's having a problem connecting, but if I let it sit in there long enough, it connects. So I feel like the software isn't seeing the keyboard right. And so when I have it in the physical keyboard, the on-screen keyboard pops up for a while. And then it finally, after a while, seems like it'll go away and the keyboard will register again. So there might be some keyboard issues, actually, now that you're saying that. Because I don't use my iPad. That's iPad OS. That's a whole different OS. I don't use that without my keyboard. So I don't know if I'd use the on-screen keyboard if it would work right or not right now. Let's see. Michelle said, saw the orthopedic surgeon and my shoulder was clear. Just need to keep up on the PT. X-ray showed everything is better. That is awesome news. Congratulations, Michelle. Now you can really get to work, right? Without worry. I know when something goes wrong like that, like still with my heart, I worry that I'm going to overdo it or something's going to happen, that I'm not drinking enough or got my juice water here. And so, but now you can create. Now you can really create. Marion says, my nose runs in the cold too. That's a thing, right? I'm surprised mine isn't running. This room is so cold, but thankfully, I'm just going to be happy. I'm nasally. That's an effect, I think, from being outside all day and then coming in, and now I'm very nasally. Great. But at least it's not running. I'll take that. Although I have tissues here just in case. Brought them just in case. Jocelyn says, Valerie, -25. Glad to hear I'm not the only craft supply hoarder. I think you're in good company of craft supply hoarders here. This is our community. We call it the AG Bead fam. Definitely good people to have around if you are stranded and need crafting, right? We're all kind of hoarders of craft stuff. Andrew says, I'm not a bashful sneezer. My mom used to call them thunder blasts. Yes, the cats get scared. I had Gertie and Ida Bell sitting with me the other night. They were passed out sleeping. Like I was on my side on the couch. They're like behind my knee, at my feet, like behind the blast. And Andrew sneezed and they freaked. They jumped off the couch like, yeah, like little torpedoes. They Andrew Thunderblast. They are not quiet little dainty little sneezes. Um, I'm not a quiet sneezer either, so I don't think I'm quite as loud as Andrew's Thunderblasts. But yeah. Susan says, I keep sneezing and have a dripping nose. I guess the winter weather is the cause. Probably, right? Marion says, yes, I come mostly for the chatting. I'm also from Canada, but Edmonton is where the weather is not as bad. You say you come from mostly for the chatting, but do you? Do you? We do ship to Canada, as many of you know. So we are happy to ship things that way. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but we're happy to compile and gather things together for you and make it into one bigger package. So maybe it's a little less expensive than sending multiple things many times. So if you do want to order anything, feel free. If you're in Canada, we can put it on hold, or if you grab a bunch of stuff and we'll send it out right away. Whatever you want, you just let us know. We were supposed to get snow on Saturday, says Susan. See, that's what Teresa said. So I wonder if we're supposed. Our Saturday does not show snow. There's no cloud, but my weather don't listen to that. I don't even know why I'm looking at it. Right, like a snow cave, says Jennifer. Right. Kimberly says, it was small enough. What was small enough? What am I missing now? Hello, Kimberly. Did I say hi to you earlier? Hello. I may have missed you in the comments or missed something because my comments keep jumping and my screen condensed down to this big, but at least I have comments. I am not complaining about having comments. Susie says there might be getting more snow next weekend. Okay, so maybe. Marianne's supposed to have a warm up. That's good. Andrew says, I hope not. That's our rock show. I know. I just sent out emails today and posts about it and shared it everywhere again. We have our rock show coming up in Johnstown at the store, the actual physical store. It's an event at the physical store. We've been doing so many virtual events. This is actually an event at the physical store. We are going to have our rock and mineral sale. So we're gonna have rocks and crystals and like the rough stuff, fossils, minerals, and of course everything else we offer, art, beads, jewelry, all that good stuff. But all the stuff is going to be in flats. It's going to be, I don't want to say cheap, maybe not cheap, but maybe cheap. It's going to be not too expensive. We're going to have a good sale on it. Try and push it out the door. Hopefully people will come. Hopefully the weather won't be terrible, and it'll be good. So join us if you're in Johnstown or anywhere close, because it's probably going to be worth the trip if you like rocks and crystals and stuff. We've got boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes, and if people want to buy it by the box, we will sell it by the box. That's the kind of sale it's going to be. It's going to be down and dirty. It's not going to look pretty. It's going to be out on some tables. It's going to be boxes piled up probably, and we'll have some prices on stuff. And then we're going to send it out the door with as many people as we can. Or one person if they want to come and buy it all. I will sell it all to you. I'll give you a good price on it all if you want it all. We'd have to figure that out. But I'll do it. Don't think I won't. So yeah, whatever has to happen to get that stuff moving and make some money and get that stuff out the door. So it's not sitting with us any longer. Variance is also an extra step to get to groups on Facebook. Yeah, it is. But they did make it easier, I think, to click on the group from Allegory Gallery. So, the group is in the about info if you go to the Allegory Gallery page on the Facebook app, right at the top, you can click on the group and it goes right into our group. So that is kind of nice. I think it was a little bit harder before, was buried a little bit further down, but it's like right at the top now, at least on mine. And I can go right into our group, our Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group, right from there. It makes it nice. But other groups, if you're looking for them, yeah, you got to slide it over, find the groups. More work. Um, let's see. Valerie says, Jocelyn, we were hoping for around -15 in February. At least that's the prediction. That will be okay. My son always says, Mom, if you ever die, I dread the moving of all the beads, wire, cardstock. So please just don't die. Okay. Right? Don't die so I don't have to move your stuff. That's that's cute. Sweet way, right? Of saying I love you without saying I love you. Andrew says, I'm gonna need a magnifying glass for this Facebook. Oh boy, it got really small on you. Suzanne's here. Says, hello, it's cold there. Frigid video earlier. Yes, it was. My face was so red. A little bit partially wind burnt. It's still a little bit red. A little bit from the cold and a little bit from the exhaustion or the execution of trying to move the snow. So it was all those things. And like I looked pale but pink. Like it was cold. It was cold. My hands, I had gloves on, and even with the gloves, like as soon as I got in, I took the gloves off because it was just like they were so cold. And then even as I sat inside, when I went back out to the car at the end of the day, well, the end of the day up there, I left the gloves off because I was like, they're still freezing. Like they were colder to put on than just leaving my hands like in my pockets. Since I didn't shovel, I wasn't shoveling anymore. Jennifer says, I have a memory of my dad taking his pulse every so often while shoveling. See, it can happen, right? You gotta watch it. Gotta watch that stuff. Um, Where am I? Oh boy. There we are. Boy, I'm behind in the comments, y'all. I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to catch up. This is what we do. The first hour to an hour and a half of every single live, almost every single day, at least 40 minutes to about an hour and a half at the longest. We just chat like this. It's fun. It's a way to connect. Um, a lot of people, a lot of businesses rush into the sale to try and get you to buy stuff. And I know this is a long thing to put at the front when we're trying to sell stuff, but we hope you'll stick around and also check out the stuff for sale. Um, we think it's, you know, we could sell stuff right away and then just talk at the end, but I feel like um, I don't know. I feel like it's nicer to talk and ease into it and then do the sell stuff. And hopefully you'll stay and watch and buy some stuff because we're a small business and we need you to buy things to help us keep going and keep doing what we do and put creativity and put the materials for creativity out into the world. We also put creativity out into the world, but um, mainly during these, we put the materials for you to be creative and hopefully bring you some joy. Michelle says, I cough when it's cold. I can't breathe when the air is cold. Yeah, I feel that too. Andrew says, I want Jocelyn to come visit us here in Pennsylvania, maybe when it is nice. Hopefully. I'd like to meet you. Why not? Susan says, I do the thunder blast sneezes too. My sneezes scare my cats, and my hubs claims I blow out his eardrums. Yes, Andrew blows out my eardrums. I am with your husband on this one. Andrew does the same thing. I'm like, oh, it's like the whole pressure in the room. It's not just the eardrum. It's like he changes. It's such a blast. He changes the pressure in the whole room for a moment, and my ears go whoom. Like that's what it feels like. Um, yeah. Andrew said the cats jumped up like they're getting whooped, but they'll sneeze in my face and act like I should like it. They do that. They sneeze right in your face sometimes. Terry says my asthma gets really bad when it's cold. I can imagine. I've known other people who have it, and they say the same thing, that it's really hard. Um, I know it's hard to even. Um, it's just hard to even breathe. Was it Michelle who said that? I cough when it's cold, can't breathe. Yeah, when the air is really cold and it comes at you, it's like it like takes the air away from you. Um, I think it's your body's natural like protection not to breathe when you get a lot of air blast like that. But it makes it harder when it's cold, right? um, Jocelyn says, Valerie, LOL. Tell him that's his inheritance. My husband tells me he will sell it all if anything ever happens to me. Yeah. Sorry. Luckily, Andrew and I are in this together. So we kind of don't mind. You know, uh, uh, do I buy too much tech stuff once in a while? Maybe. Does he buy too many tools that he doesn't need? Maybe. But at the same time, no. You know, we've got the creativity flowing and we've got a lot of stuff around us. And thankfully, we're usually on the same page about stuff, which is nice. Um, Now, if we could only be both as um, type A as possible and have places for everything, that would be even better. But maybe we might also get nothing else done but organizing all the time, which would kind of be not great. Oh, Kimberly replied to Andrew's comments about the smaller texts. Which now I don't remember what you said. Sorry. Let's see if I can. Oh, my mouse doesn't want to work right now. Um, Sorry. Now I don't remember even what you said. I've been on too many things now. I think you were talking about how it's very small. Marion says, yes, I do, William, but you have such lovely beads at fabulous prices. I just have to add to the stash, right? See, that's the way. That's the way we are supposed to talk about things. I am here for the lovely beads at the greatest prices ever. Um, that's how we talk about our business, everybody. I thought we all knew about this, especially when new people are around. Um, but yeah, so no, but yes, thank you. We do. We actually do. Like none of that is not true, right? It's all true. We have lovely beads. We do have fabulous prices a lot of the time. But yeah. Um yeah, I like it. I like selling it. I like having it. Oh, reduced. Reduced. Um Jocelyn says, Andrew, yes, when it's nice and sunny, LOL. I don't know how to handle the snow. Andrew says, I don't know how to handle snow either, and I've lived up here longer than I did in Florida, right? Valerie says, Jocelyn, my friends always tell me use it all now, including the good china, because after you die, the kids will have it all for sale at a tag sale at the end of the driveway before you're cold in the grave. Oh boy. But that's kind of true, right? Um, you know, things are good things to the people who appreciate them. Like that's their thing. Like you might have the good china, but it's the good china because it came from your great grandmother, right? And they invested in it and that was the good stuff back then. And so this is the good china and we don't use it because we might break it. And then when they're gone and you're gone and the kids have it, the kids never used the china. It didn't mean anything to them. It came maybe from their great great grandparents. Well, they didn't know them. They never even used the china hardly. There's no bond to them. You know, it's that kind of thing. Um, and you know, I love my technology, but when I'm gone, nobody's gonna want it. You outgrow it anyway. And you know, I have a lot of vinyl that I try to collect, and somebody might want it, but the music is like music from my time and a little bit before my time, you know. So I think we all reach back a little bit further than our ages most of the time for music. I think that's just natural because of our parents and things like that. Um, I reach back even a little bit further, probably because of my grandparents, but they always had the radio playing and had like 50s, 60s music on. Well, 40s, 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, the stations they had playing. And so that's like in my brain from my childhood and I love it. But, you know, I don't expect, like, we don't have kids. I don't, you know, like our nieces and nephews, what are they going to want with it? Like maybe like I have all the pictures from my grandmother when she took all the pictures. They knew her, but barely. Um, those pictures have some of them in it, but most of them are like my time and a little bit before my parents' time. So they might want them to look at, as family photos, but I don't even know that family photos really get carried that far anymore, right? Um, unless there's someone in the family that really attaches to them. And so there comes a point when if you don't know who the people are in the photos anymore, it's a little bit hard. So yeah, I mean, it's true. And I saved some stuff from my grandmother that, was important to me, but a lot of her stuff got taken to, donated, and just because there was a lot, and closets full of things, and I mean, it came to the point she didn't even use it much. So we didn't see her in it. They weren't clothing that she would use that much. It wasn't things that she would bring out, jewelry that she would wear that much. Um, she'd put on some of her sweatshirts she had, and some jeans, and that was kind of her daily thing, and that's how we grew up knowing her. Sorry. And so, unless there was a real reason that we wanted something, all the stuff she collected was her stuff. Like, it made her happy while she had it, and that's great. And some of it I remember making her happy, so I wanted some of that, because of that feeling. But the rest of it, I didn't know much about it, right? We all have collections that people other than the people in this house know about. Um, and so it doesn't mean as much, and that's okay. I think that's natural. Um, but my mom has already said she's trying to do the, what is it, the Swedish death cleaning, where you try to clean out your stuff little by little while you're alive, so that you don't get it, leave it for people they have no idea what to do with it, and then they feel guilty about getting rid of it sometimes. I felt a little bit of that with my grandmother, which is probably why I saved as much as I did. I have boxes I still haven't even opened that I saved, but I'll go through it at some point. Anyway, that was a tangent. I have so many comments pouring in. I got to get through the comments. Um, we try to talk to everybody in the comments if you haven't noticed, as much as we can. Susan's not happy about the Facebook update either. Um, Jocelyn says, Andrew, how dare you scare them? My sister lets the whole neighborhood know she has allergies with how loud she sneezes. That's funny. And the comments just jumped. Um, that's another thing they keep doing, which is annoying. Okay, there we go. Marion says, Allegory is on top for me. Good, good. Where are your mittens? I know. I love mittens, and I don't have a pair of mittens right now. I used to. I have no idea where they are. I have no mittens. They're my favorite thing because they keep your hands warmer than gloves. Um, and I used to have these mittens that could be gloves, so you could put your fingers in if you wanted to and take the way, and you could have some gloves if you needed them. But then you could take them back, flip them back over, and pull your fingers out, and they'd be mittens again. That was nice. Anders is there. Too spoiled. They don't work. They don't do chores. At least they can put up with my sneezing. Um, Michelle says you can pin your favorite groups, but you still have to slide that thing over in the new Facebook. It's not as accessible as it used to be, I think, because I pin my favorite stuff all the time. Jocelyn says, Andrew, see, LOL, we'll wait for spring. Andrew says, imagine what it's like for me. It's a sonic boom. Barnaby gets really bad asthma this time of year. Yeah, he does. When he gets cold, his little body gets cold. He goes through his little asthma coughing. He coughs all the time. It's really hard on him when it gets cold like this. And he's a skinny little thing. And so he and he keeps himself that way. He doesn't overeat. He doesn't eat a lot. He just eats normal. But he gets really cold. So he's usually sitting with one of us most times, or by a heater if there's a heater around. Marion says even people without breathing issues, the cold can affect it. Yeah. Michelle has asthma and can't breathe in the cold. My son has it and he can. Huh. Most people I've heard cannot. If they have asthma, cannot breathe in the cold very well. Susan says the creativity is not flowing here today, but I did get the upstairs storage closet reorganized and I'm catching up on laundry. Always have chores to do. You know what? I think reorganization is a type of creativity. So I'm going to say that your creativity is flowing just in a different way. Because to reorganize something, to look at something that is one way, take it apart, reorganize it, change things around, that's a creativity. So you got to give yourself a little bit more credit, I think. Because that because I know, like, sometimes you like, if I'm not in a mood to create, and I have to try to organize something, it's like drudgery, like terrible, because you just don't have that vibe going, right? You don't have that. You see it here, see it there, see it how it can connect, where things can be placed. um, it's easier if you've got the creative spirit flowing to organize, I think. Andrew says, I'm seeing in real time why the cat condo's messed up. Gilbert be getting wild. Oh boy, our big boy, he's getting wild up there. So that's why. Andrew fixed the cat condo a little bit. We thought it was fixed, and then they're starting to lean again, our little platforms. And apparently it's because Gilbert's up there getting wild. Um, Let's see. Valerie says, Andrew, don't you know dogs have owners, cats have staff? I know, right? We've got 5 cats. We know. We know. Um, but Andrew tries to assert himself sometimes. Marion says, I almost never lie. You're not lying about us, right? Um, Suzanne says, I'm using everything. If it breaks, so what? Right? I'm trying to get more into that. I have certain things. Boy, I start a journal. I have a hard time. I buy a brand new nice journal. I have a hard time using that journal. Um, and then I write in a first few pages, and then I find another journal I like. And I have a hard time completing that journal before I start the new journal. So maybe it's not about using it. It's maybe about having the patience to finish it. But in that case, anyway. But yeah, I'm trying to be better about using the things that we have, even if they're nice, because why not, right? Why have them around if you're not going to use them? Some things are for looking at. I appreciate that. But I think sometimes things, um, you have to use them, right? Why not? Why wouldn't you? And I was just thinking, I think there's a I think a I think something fell off my wall. Maybe it was the cats. Because I was like, I had something up on that wall that I don't think is there anymore. And I think it's that wall. Isn't that weird how you notice, like, I don't know how long that's been missing now. That it's not been there, and it was there. That's weird. Anyway, talking about things that was from my great grandma. The spirits are talking to me. Um, Susan says, it was a bee cleaning out my mother's house after she died. My aunt couldn't believe I didn't want her china, right? What are you going to do with it? We've got so many plates and bowls. I took a few pieces of my grandparents' dishware. Mostly I took my grandfather's soup bowls because I love those, and that's what he would eat his soup in, and I remember that, and that's a memory for me. After I leave, these are old beat up bowls. Once I'm gone, nobody's gonna want those bowls, but I'm the one. I remember him eating out of them, and so I like them, and they're nice big bowls too. I could find them somewhere else in a flea market probably, but they have meaning to me, and I use them. Um, Marion says, hey, my niece's sister and I shared my mother's china. That's good. It meant something to you. If it means something to you, you take it. If not, it meant something to the person who had it, and you move it on till the next person finds it that's going to mean something for. I think that's what objects are supposed to be, right? You got to, and I'm trying to get this because I have a tendency to hoard things that I like, but if I'm not using them, if I'm not liking them at the moment, I probably should let them go because they are meant to find the next person that is attached to them. And as I get older, there are probably younger people that might like some of those things, might like to have them, and being able to share them, with another generation or people who are less fortunate, or whatever. Um, or a rich person who just finds it cheap. That's okay too, I guess. Susan says, it was a thing when my parents and grandparents to have silver and good china. I use it on occasion, but not often. I have my tchotchkes, but no one else would be interested in them. Yeah, they make us happy, and that's what they're for, right? Once I'm gone, I don't care what happens to any of my stuff. How would I care? I'm gone. It doesn't matter. Um, but I'm not one of those people. I'm like, I hope that somebody enjoys something, you know, like as I'm living here and thinking about it, I hope somebody enjoys something. But if they don't, I don't want people to be forced to keep my stuff for what? Jennifer says it's great when we chat beforehand, especially hearing about what you two are working on, for example, Star Cottage. Then we can become inspired by it and align with your vision. It has made me happy to support you. Same with other sellers I am friends with. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. We both do. Um, yeah, we try and share what we're into, what we're doing, all that kind of stuff. We want this business has always been not just for us. It's how we make a living. And this is a little bit about my post today. I feel guilty sometimes trying to convince people to buy things when there's so much going on in the world right now, at least our world. Um, and, it feels like it's like, I always feel like people are looking at us like, why are you trying to get people to buy stuff? Like the people need but people need creativity. And, so many people have told me that, and I have to really get that in my brain. It's not some little thing that we do. It's not a little thing to inspire people. It is a big thing to inspire people. It is a big thing to allow people to be creative. It is probably one of the most important things um, that we could be doing right now, is being creative and being inspiring to others and shining light on things that, in ways that affect people deeply, or not deeply, sometimes surface and funny. And so, I have this battle in myself that, everything right now is so serious. It really is. And I don't want to take away from that. And we don't mean to take away from that by trying to be lighthearted and funny. But I think you have to keep some of that. I think you have to let some of that in, because if you are constantly and compulsively pushed by the dark and the deep and the heavy, it buries you under it. Um, and I can get into that. I have a depressive streak. I have an anxious streak. And sometimes I get into this negative self-talk about the things you do aren't important, or maybe that's imposter syndrome. Is that what they call that? Is that part of that? But it is one of those things that, we really do want to inspire, and we want people to feel like they are part of what we do, because you are the biggest part of what we do. You out there who are watching, you out there who purchase from us, who support us, who join our Patreon, who comment on our posts, who share them with their friends, who walk into the store. You are the biggest part of what we do. We do a lot behind the scenes, but none of it is for anything if you're not out there. And we appreciate you so much. We love you out there. We call you the AG Bead fam because you are family to us. And the talking, I think that's a great point, that the talking helps people to align with what we're trying to do. And it's not only to align with what we're doing, it's to align us all, to align Andrew and I to what you also want. It gives us a chance to get to know you, get to know what you're doing, get to know what you're thinking, get to know what you're creating, get to know what you are into right now. And it allows us to make decisions based on that as well. It goes both ways. And I hope that it's mutually beneficial. And I think, that's how we look at our business. Our business it's not this big thing that's supposed to make us tons of money. Andrew and I don't want tons of money. It would be nice because we could do more with it, but we would always put that money to do more with it. Um, we're not going to hoard it somewhere. We're not going to, sell a few things one day a week and then take a vacation for the next 6 days. It's not our way. And um, everything we do gets put back into use. And sometimes we put too much into use when we should have held some back, because we're very excited about the things we do. And sometimes we take on a lot more than we should. But I have to believe that in the end it evens out. And that what we put out there is worth it, and what we do hopefully resonates with you all, and you like what we do, and you share what we do, and other people will like what we do, and this thing that we all do together creates some kind of force in this community that we have, and it brings more good people to us. This is not about selling things. This is about, creating something that sustains us all in a way that helps us survive, and hopefully more than survive, that helps us live, and helps us live in joy and in love. And that's what we're about. And that's what this business is about. And I'm very passionate about that. And we try not to get into that too much because, if you say something too often, it loses its meaning. But every once in a while, I go on a tirade like this when something comes up, because that's what this is. And sometimes I do this because it helps me remind myself that we are not just in it for the money. It's not about the money. It's about surviving. The money is what we need in this system we've created to survive, but it is about creating this beautiful thing with wonderful people. And that's what I hope that we can continue to do until I'm not here anymore and Andrew's not here anymore. And maybe somebody else will take it over that comes into the fold, and you never know. Or maybe it will poof out of existence once we're done with it. You never know. I don't know what's going to happen to Allegory Gallery once we're not around. But I hope it continues until that point in time, at least. And because this is what we want to do for the rest of our lives. And we want to meet people like you, and we want to be around people like you who are all creative and wonderful and supportive. And that's what we want. Anyway, let me continue with the comments because I'm I'm falling behind, and I appreciate all of you who are watching, and I want to get to all of your comments. Um, let's see. I use other people's family photos in my artwork. Andrew does do that. He does. Hello, Anna. Thank you for being here. I know you're having a hard time. Um, I'm not going to say anything because it's not my place, but I hope you're doing well. I just want to put that out there. And I do want to send out good energy to our friend Diane. I have not heard from Diane yet. I don't know if she's popped in. I hoped not, but she is going through her surgery today that she was talking about. Today was the day. I said a little good energy thing earlier this morning for her. And so I just asked that we all send the good energy out to her. And hopefully all has gone well and she is recovering. She said she'd be walking already again by the end of the first day. So I hope that that's where she is, and that at some point she's able to pop in and say hi. Teresa says, I love my grandmother's china, and it's going to my daughter because she loves it. We use it every holiday. See? It's you have to pass. It's the energy of the stuff, right? It's the energy of the stuff that gets passed along. It's not the stuff. Has nothing to do with the stuff. You could find that same pattern at the flea market and it would mean nothing. It's the energy that comes along with it. And I think that's with the stuff we sell. Everything we purchase is touched, is seen, is approved by us. We put the energy into it, hopefully the good energy into it, and send it out with that energy. It's that same concept, right? It's the energy of the stuff. When you buy from us, I hope you know that the stuff, we try our best to put the good energy into it. Um, and because we love it. Everything we choose has us behind it. We don't sell you the stuff we don't like. We don't even bring it into it doesn't come into the house. It doesn't come into the cottage. If we don't like it, it's not there. So it's the same with things that I think are handed down. It's the energy. It's the vibe from the stuff. It doesn't matter what the stuff is. My grandfather's soup bowl, you know, could have been a mug. It could have been a piece of silverware that he used all the time. Like, it doesn't matter. It's about the energy that was put into it, and that's what we carry with us, I think. Um, and Michelle says, with so many moves, we lost our family China. It makes me sad. It can, right? Because you weren't ready. You weren't ready to part with it yet. Um, And it is just stuff, right? But when you're not ready to part with it, that energy wasn't ready to leave you yet and move on to something else yet. Norma says, nobody wanted my grandmother's china. My cousin had it for a while. She sent it to me when her husband died and she downsized. I use it for every day. Yeah, use it, right? Because after you, who's going to want it? Nobody wanted it up until that point. It means something to you. Use it. Marion says, I also have my mother's diaries and photos. I have a lot of my grandmother's. She kept a little calendar, and every day she'd write the weather, write a little blurb in there. Maybe not every day, but most days. I have those. I love those. I go through them once in a while. Um, Susan says, William, I have some photos of my family. I wish there were photos of my great grandparents. I have no idea what my German great grandfather looked like. Yeah, that's a thing too, right? Some of us care. Some of us want to know those things. And I think, especially as we get older, we want to know them more. There's this desire, I think, to reach out to the past in some ways and kind of know, um, kind of know where we came from a little bit more. And it says, yes, I'm doing that too. I've got stuff from my mom. Um, Valerie says, William, that's exactly why I have good stuff in the kitchen cupboard and use it daily, right? Use it. Anna's over there on YouTube now. Um, Jennifer says, get to knitting get to knitting mittens, miffins, knitting mittens. That's hard to say fast. Get to knitting mittens. I don't know why. I don't knit. I tried to crochet. I I tried multiple times in my life to do crochet and it's okay. I've just never gotten to the point where I can't look away, where I can look away. Like some people just they're doing their thing and they're not counting, they're not looking, they're not, and I know that takes practice. I'm not there. It's not my thing. Pottery, better. Pottery I've enjoyed. Um, I just think I want something. I feel this attraction to fibers, but I don't think crochet is it. Maybe someday. Maybe someday that'll change. But I feel this attraction to fibers. I thought I wanted to be a fashion designer when I was young. I did. I didn't think I wanted to. I wanted to be, but I've always liked the idea of fiber and taking plants and making your own and all that stuff too. And but I don't have the time. I don't have the that's a whole other thing. Anxiety does not allow me to do that too. But I do like it. Anderson, something probably in the basement. There's a lot of things probably in the basement. Our Anders or Susan says my husband's were still mittens probably because my husband's were stolen from our car when our change purse was stolen. Oh no. Knit Barnaby a sweater, right? Barnaby needs a sweater. Um, Both cats will want to share our bed tonight, says Suzanne. I bet. It's chilly out there everywhere. My mittens are like that, says Marianne, but also wear gloves under them um, at your temperatures. Jocelyn says, Andrew, I'll send Barnaby some leg warmers. I recently crocheted my cat leg warmers, and it's so stinking cute. Oh my goodness. Andrew says, that'd be cute, but he wouldn't wear them. I don't know. Maybe Barnaby. You might get him to wear them. I don't know. Sue says, my radio buddy told me this story. A friend of his was kite flying in the park. His car was broken into. The thief left a note saying, next time, have better stuff. Guess how the thief got caught? Oh boy, have better stuff. Um, what were we watching? I was watching something, and was it in the UK? Somewhere. Oh, it was on a story I was listening to. And if you get robbed at knife point and you don't have good enough stuff, they just stab you for not having good enough stuff. If you have good enough stuff or enough money in your wallet or whatever, they take it and they leave. But if they don't, they stab you. It's apparently a thing. I had never heard of it, but yeah, because this woman, she said in the story, yeah, I went to the hospital. She just is acting like it was a normal thing, like she deserved it because she didn't have enough. She's like, I know I didn't have enough money in my wallet. So she got stabbed instead of just gotten the money taken. Marion says, so setting up a workflow is creative. Setting up a workflow is definitely creative, right? It definitely is. Andrew says, I'm the daddy, they're the babies. instead of staff, right? Andrew says, I told William that he should just go back through and cut out the first few pages of all the journals, and then he'd have a full one. Yeah, he did tell me that the other day. He started cleaning or reorganizing the bookcase, and I had a bunch of journals in there, and he's like, he didn't read them, I don't think, but he was flipping through them, and he's like, most of these are empty. Some of them are probably from the early 2000s. And sorry. And he's like, if you just cut out the first few pages, put those somewhere together, you'd have a bunch of blank journals. Or you hoard journals. I do. Andrew says, William, do not be messing up my manifesting new dishes. We need to replace them. That's all right. We can replace the dishes. I have no problem with that. You want to manifest those into our lives? We can replace dishes. A lot of ours are cracking, and it just happens between the dishwasher, between falling between cats, between using them in the microwave. They crack, they get hairline fractures, they break. I'm okay with replacing them. I have the only one, I have a few that are like my favorites. Otherwise, nah. Leslie says, I have my mother's 8-piece place setting china and my grandmother's 12-piece place setting china. Do you use them? Hopefully. Suzanne says, I'm recycling most of the glassware we got when we were married. We don't use them. Yeah, we have a lot of glassware. I use very particular. I drink out of this right now. I fill this up. I put juice in it, fill it up with water, put juice in it. I drink out of this. When I do drink out of a cup, I have very particular ones I like. That's about it, right? I like what I like. Andrew says, our dishes are banged up. They're chipped and cracked. A lot of them are, yes. Teresa says, I like fingerless gloves. I sometimes wear them under mittens. I need some good mittens. Andrew says, we don't drink much anymore, so there are cabinets full of champagne flutes and things we'll never use. Yes. I for a while I was collecting the vintage champagne goblets. What do they call them? Champagne something else. Like the vintage ones, not the tall champagne things, but the wider ones. I love those, but we don't drink anymore. So we've got red wine glasses, white wine glasses, all kind of wine glasses, champagne flutes, champagne goblets, cups, coupes, champagne coupes. I guess they're called coupes probably. I love those, but I don't drink out of them. Susan says, we all the break from all the heaviness in today's world. Yes, let's have a break. You need to find joy somehow, even now, says Marianne. Exactly. Andrew says, I would like that. A vacation sounds nice. Maybe somewhere warm. With a lot of money and a vacation. Okay, we can maybe have a vacation. Jennifer says, we need the beauty and inspiration of your beads. And it's comforting to see a couple working together and loving each other and their fur babies. Absolutely. But Andrew said he gonna go live by the pool. I'm gonna live by the pool. Let's see. Angela's here. Hello, Angela. Thank you for joining us. Everybody's saying hi to Angela. Let me scroll my comments. Valerie says, truly love your philosophy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Leslie says, I've been struggling with being creative and surviving. It's getting really hard for me. Yes. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. Marion says, I have my grandmother's copper pots. Nice. That's a nice thing to have. We didn't have copper pots. Nobody in my family had copper pots. I think that would be pretty to have those. Andrew says, when we first started, one of my mentors said that the store would last as long as we had energy for it. A year or two later, she closed. When I talked to her, she said she woke up one day and she felt like she had accomplished what she wanted, and now she had different dreams. Right? Anna says, thanks, William, doing okay. I think when you get mad enough, you have the energy you need, and then you collapse and repair to get ready for the next time. It's true. You've been through a lot right now. Teresa says, you can feel the energy the minute you open the box. My clients tell me all the time that my jewelry has awesome energy. That's good. That's important, right? It's important. I have my father's cereal bowl, says Susan. It was from Sears Harmony House Pattern. I also have some of his creations, including a dog he carved even when he was 11. That's awesome. Andrew says, one day there will be an end for Allegory Gallery. I don't want to be doom and gloom, but there's a cycle of life, but today is not that day. Teresa says, sending you some love, Anna. Susan says, I know quite a bit of my family history. I cherish the stories that were passed down to me. That's nice. Marianne says, maybe weaving or spinning. Maybe. I liked the weaving that I did in Italy. I did like that. It was a full body thing. It's kind of like pottery. Like you use so much of your body in pottery to move the clay and form the clay and control the clay. And then you can kind of sit and decorate the clay, which I love. And so like the full body, like the loom, the big one, that was kind of really nice. Spinning, maybe. I've never done it. I don't know. I have some friends who do it, but I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, I'm far behind. It's like the comments are never gonna. I usually catch up to the comments. Y'all are being awesome and commenting, and our numbers have been up almost close to 30 people watching at times, which is great. I know the numbers also go down when people kind of time out and are just watching and not commenting. So that's really nice. Thank you so much. Leslie says, try weaving or quilting. I think weaving might be something I would like. Kimberly says, I actually have my brother-in-law's grandma's china up in my attic somewhere. No one in his family wanted it. So you got to take it, right? Just got to take it. Susan says, and since I have been doing genealogy, I found out many of the stories are true. Nice. Norma says, I have a big album from my dad's mother. None of the pictures are labeled, and I don't know who anyone is, including which pictures were my dad as a child. It makes me crazy. I want to know who they are. See, that's the thing, too. Some of my grandmother's photos, I know a lot of the people, but there are people that would come to visit them and they'd have friends over. I don't know who they were because I wasn't around. On the kids, I was like, as a kid, I was there on weekends. Sometimes they come during the week, or, I was in school, it wasn't summer break. I didn't know who these people were. I know they meant something to my grandmother because they had them to their house, which they didn't have a lot of people over. So it was a big deal if you kind of went over to their house and they did something together. Or she actually took pictures of them, right? She wanted to know she wanted those memories. Kimberly says, I also have my mom and grandma's milk glass dinnerware. Nice. I don't use it because I am lazy and don't want to hand wash. That's a thing. That is a thing. Susan says, lots of people don't carry cash these days. I know. I don't. I got robbed. They would be like, what? What do you have? What is this? I'd be like, there's no room on those credit cards either, so don't think you're going to get much use out of them. Damaged dishes do need to leave, says Marianne. Yeah. Leslie says, no, they have lots of gold plating. You can't put them in the dishwasher. Yeah, some things you cannot. Or in the microwave. Too much of the metal in the microwave, that's not good either. Susan says, since Phil the cat arrived, I drink my water out of an aluminum tumbler with a lid. Phil still tips over regular glasses with me. That's nice. That's cute. It's not nice, but it's cute. It's an endearing thing. Kimberly says sparkling cider can be served in a fancy champagne glass. Yeah, it could be. We don't drink that very much though. Barnaby would like to be by the pool. I bet he would. Not too humid though, because the humidity isn't great for him either. Teresa says, I use champagne coupes for serving fruit or some desserts. That's a good idea. That way I don't have to get rid of them. So same here, Kimberly, says Susan. That's why I don't use my good stuff that often. Kimberly says, if the dish cannot go in the dishwasher, then it is display only. LOL. Right? That's true. That's fair. That's 100% fair. Okay, I caught up to the comments though, y'all. Just about anyway. Keep those comments coming. I lost. Oops. I got to switch the color. Usually I have this turned around by now, so we got to get this show on the road. Not that I'm not having a good time. I am. I wish I could just do this all the time. I wish we could just chat all the time and then say, okay, go to the online store, everybody, and buy something, please. Please promise you'll buy something. We'll just chat tonight. And if you go over there, please say you'll grab something. But since we don't do that, I'm going to show you some stuff. And please, everybody, buy something. Help us out. That will help. If you can, we appreciate it. Let me see here. Let me turn these lights on. Hopefully they work because Tallulah was in here causing havoc. Yeah, they work. Good. Let me flip the camera around. And there we go. There we go. There's our fancy desktop. So fancy. We're so fancy here. Oh, I put all my Sharpies away and now I don't know which Sharpie. You know, you think you let's see, what letters are we going to use for the lots today? How about lot? We haven't used lot. This Sharpie works pretty well. Kitten Havoc is always interesting, says Anna. Yes, it is. It is. Valerie says, quilting is awesome. I took a couple classes and loved it. Some people, though, are uber talented in our fiber arts group at the beach. I just sit in awe. That's nice, right? I like when talented people get a chance to use their talents. I know there are so many people who, we see so many talented people and they're like doing desk job work and could be out there doing things. And it's a little bit sad, but at least they're getting to use some of their talents some of the time. If I'm seeing them, right? If I'm seeing them, then they must be using it some of the time at least, which is good. That's what we want. And hopefully they get to expand and do them more. Okay, I'm going to take a drink. Sorry, I'm leaving you with a blank table. Okay. Now I pulled some stuff today. This is going to be legit random because I have no idea what I pulled because I gathered up. It was so cold. I was like, I am going to grab this bag and I'm going to grab this bag of stuff and this bag of stuff. And I hope it's good enough to show in the live tonight. Because, these are good. I grabbed a nice bag. I'm glad I did because I was a little concerned what I was going to show y'all tonight. Please remember to subscribe to us if you don't already. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow us if you're on Facebook. Allegory Gallery. We would appreciate that. All right. Let's see. We had these originally at 55. I will do them at 45. I've got, do I really have 3? I have 3 of these. I don't know how. They got stored away somewhere. Okay, if you're new, I'm going to put up the banner now. To purchase from this video, you take down, we do this really, really, really fancy, like, take down the lot number, which is lot tonight, L-O-T. It's usually a different combination of 3 letters. Tonight's lot. Lot 1, take down that lot number, send it to us in an email at info@allegorygallery.com. That's scrolling here, and also it's up here. info@allegorygallery.com. You can put it in the subject line, hit send. First come, first serve. We've got, these were 55. We're giving them to you at 45 each. There are 3 of them available. That's what all those numbers mean. And what is it? It's this beautiful strand of garnets. So these garnets, we get these from our vendor. These are already strung up. You can restring them. We usually recommend that you do, but we have had people who have worn them just like this with no problems for a long time. Just depends how you treat them. But it's always better when you string them up because you did it, the right way. But these come on a sterling silver extender chain and lobster claw. And you can actually see, maybe, that 925 right there on that little claw. It's pressed in right there, 925. These are smooth rondelles. They are graduated. And these are 3.3 millimeters, all the way up to the largest is about 4.5. So not a huge, no, wait, scratch that. 5 is the largest. 3.5 to 5 millimeters. They are beautiful in color. And I just realized I didn't bring up my any device to check my email. So I can't tell you if these are selling. That's all right. I'm just going to keep going. And these are lovely, lovely garnets. These garnets are a little bit more of the red-brown variety. Sometimes we have the ones that are like berry colored, various different colors. But these are kind of that really garnety, almost like I don't know, I don't want to say brown, but they're a little bit brown. But they are, look at the quality. These are like a gem quality garnet. These are really nice. Really nice quality. You can see how transparent they are. Translucent. They let that good light through. And so they're $45 each. That's it. Whole strand of garnets. How beautiful is that? I sent out a little email today too. It was kind of a long email. I'm a little long-winded sometimes. But we've been talking, a lot of our vendors, their prices are increasing, right? Things like beads come from all over the world. Importing right now is not inexpensive. It's getting more and more expensive. And, when a lot of people import things, like we import these, right? We bring these in and our vendors do, we get them. And then we work from the cost that it costs us and we set the retail price, right? We set that retail price for you. We give you a little discount here in the lives. So you get a little discount off that retail price. Some businesses, when they bring in things, or if they know there is an increase in the world, they increase the cost of the things to you that they already have in stock, right? So maybe they know that if they were to bring these in today, they would be $75, for example. So they already go through and they mark up their stuff to $75. Now, business wise, that's probably smart because they're making more from the cost they paid to what it would cost people now in the real world to buy them. And since everybody's pretty much selling them at $75, that's what they can sell them at. We don't do that. We like to think we try to be a little more fair to you. That was our cost. That was our retail, right? Not our cost. We don't talk about that, but that's the retail from the cost we had. We are never going to take this strand and make it $75. It's not going to happen. We are always going to sell that at a max of $55. We don't go retroactively changing our back stock prices. So I sent out an email today talking about that a little bit, letting people know, because people have assumed that we do that because a lot of businesses do that. We do not. So what all that means is, one, our prices, we're always going to be fair with you. They're always going to be fair based on a system of cost versus retail, like our formula that we use. What that also means is that every price we give you today is probably the very best we're ever going to be able to provide from this point on, because things are getting more expensive and things, that's not changing, right? So at least in the near future, that doesn't seem like that's going to change. So these prices are probably, and the prices in our online store, they're not ever going to go up on you, but they are the best that you're probably going to find now. At least the best we're going to be able to provide, because our suppliers are upping many, many of their prices. All right, does that make sense? Susan says, many talented people have day jobs that come with health and retirement benefits. Yeah, that's the thing, right? They have to have their day jobs for those benefits. And they don't always get a chance to be as creative as they want to be. But I'm glad when people are able to find creativity. Smoky Cat is kneading on me while screaming at me, says Susan. That's kind of cute. Kind of cute. Okay. Let's see. This one is also 55. I will also do 45 on this one. There is only one. Lot number 2. This is a beautiful quartz. Again, this bag that I happened to grab is full of these on a silver. So these are all sterling silver lobster claws, sterling silver extender chains. If you do take these apart and you don't use these, put them in your stash because they're silver. This is the carat weight, by the way, these tags. We leave that on there just, for, so we know. It doesn't make any difference to us, really. It's how our vendor does it. But these are mostly tourmalinated, but also rutilated quartz. And these are graduated, faceted, rondelle-ish. Yeah, kind of rondelles. Heishies, maybe? Faceted Heishies? I don't know. Some of them aren't quite rondelles. But look how beautiful they are. Look at how exquisite those tourmalination streaks through there and the rutilation is in those. They are really something else. And let me get the light on here so you can really see. So you can really see them. Gorgeous. Marianne says rondelles mostly. Okay. I'll go with that. Look at how beautiful. There's so much in each stone. They are just really stunning pieces. There's only this one strand left of these. Only the one. Only the lonely. Look at that one. It's got some red in there. Some of that iron in there. Beautiful. And these are from, let's see, the smallest on here, if I can get it, 3.3. The largest, let's see where the center is. That's about where the largest. Largest on here, 5. 3.3 to 5. So about 3.5 to 5. Same as the that word, garnet. Yeah, same as the garnets. How are y'all doing? Comments went down. Yo, you're supposed to keep the comments up. No, maybe not. Not too much, because then I can't do two things at once. This is a very nice strand, but it has to be the right person that's going to want it. Because not everyone loves this stone. I don't know why. I can't imagine why you wouldn't love this stone. It's petrotourmaline. And I happen to love petrotourmaline, but you may not. I'm going to bring this down to 80. It was 95. I don't even know if I should bring it down that much. I would have to research my notes on it, but tonight I'm going to bring it down to 80 for you. It is a shorty strand. It's, I think, 8 inches. But it's beautiful. Petrotourmaline. It's that kind of whiskey-like green color. It's just so pretty. But I know it's not for everyone, but it is amazing. And these are graduated slices, faceted slices. I don't know, whatever you want to call those. The biggest one on here is actually not the one at the back most. It's this one. It goes to about a width of 22. And the smallest width is 10. So 10 to 22. Valerie, oh, let's see. Anna says they are so pretty. Thank you. Valerie says, still watching. Garnet and goals are my favorite stones. I don't know what the goals was meant to be. Garnet and, but I'm glad. Garnet's really pretty, right? Look at these though. Look at how pretty. I love these. Andrew says they change colors depending on the light. Yeah, they change. They can be green. You saw how they were more of a brown in this light, and then you shine the light bright, this bright kind of LED light we've got, and they show out more of the green. Look at those. Jennifer says, oh, opal, says Valerie. Nice. Jennifer says, we put more light on it, please. This one, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Hopefully this is, if you want something else, here's, I want to say this to everybody too, because it's, you're watching at a certain time. And I'm usually ahead of you, but it takes a while to get to y'all. Sometimes the lag is even more. So when you ask to do something, whether you measure something, put light on something, please give me the lot number so I make sure that I'm doing what you want. Um, look at, ooh, you see that last one? Oh, no wonder that one's not the biggest one, but there's a reason they put that on the end of the strand. Look at that flash in there. Lovely gemstone, says Susan. So there it is. One of those in existence at $80, that is a steal. Petrotourmaline does not come cheap. Andrew says you won't be able to see the full spectral change until direct sunlight. Yeah. You put these in direct sunlight, they'll go from like brown to green, all different shades. It's sometimes a little bit yellow. It's lovely. Um, Petrotourmaline does not generally come cheap. It is not easy to find. A lot of people, you won't even see it in their inventories. So this is kind of a really special strand, I think. And I love the shapes. I love those kind of flat, faceted little, some of them are flat, some are not. I love the flatter ones like those. But those nuggets are nice too. Anyway, maybe it's sold already. I don't know. I don't have my email. My desktop computer here doesn't have it. So we're just going to keep going. And I hope some people are buying some things. I hope some people are buying some things because that's going to help us keep us in business so we can continue to spread creativity, positivity, and pay our bills. That's the only reason I ask for money, is to pay our bills. All right. Otherwise, I'd like to just give away stuff. I wish we could. That'd be so nice. This was 78. I'm going to bring it down to 65. Only one strand of these available. Hey, Anne, thanks for joining us. It's nice to see you here. You missed all the talk, Anne? Oh, we got into it today. Uh, good stuff, I think. Good stuff. We had a good talking session. I just started the live, so we're almost 2 hours in and just starting. Michelle says, I've never seen this before. Marion says, never heard of petrotourmaline. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. All right. And Anne, I pulled a bag of some of your favorite things. I know you like these, the ones with the chain sometimes. Boy, I can't. One moment. Sorry, everybody. I muted you so you didn't have to listen to me hacking up a lung here while I'm trying to clear my throat. Anne says, the doctor sent my dad for a blood transfusion we didn't expect, so I'm home late. Oh, I hope he's okay. I hope everything's okay, Anne. Sending you some love and good energy your way and your dad's way. Andrew says, maybe do a giveaway. Yeah, maybe we'll do a giveaway. Anne says, it looks like a great group of things. I'm going to simultaneously watch the replay and the live at the same time. My special talent. Wow. I don't know. I don't know how you can do that. Jennifer says, I've never seen large pieces of petrotourmaline, just small beads. Yeah, a lot of times they're small. This is really fantastic that they're so big. And again, here's what, okay, let me show you this. I'm just going to put this down. This is smoky quartz. It's beautiful. I'm going to show it to you. But back to that same thing. We could probably increase this now to much more than it is. Like it's 95 retail. I'm selling it to you for 80 tonight if somebody grabs it. But this strand, because it's so big and because they're such quality stones and it's such a a more rare stone, we could probably, if we were other businesses, take that price and just increase it because it's worth it now. But we don't do that to you. So those are the kind of things I was talking about earlier. Okay. Next up, look at this smoky quartz. This is some gem quality smoky quartz. Clear, almost no inclusions, beautiful graduated faceted rondelles. And those are stunning. One strand available. Just the one. That's it. No more. 7.5 millimeters to the largest 13.5 millimeters. One strand available. Let me get some light up there on that little baby right there. It looks so much better in that light. Sometimes smoky quartz washes out in the light. This one just gets more beautiful. Look at that. It keeps its deep color. And the stones are so big that when one side of it's light, the other one can be dark. Like look how that's happening. I know my hand's there, but like the quality of those stones. Beautiful. $65 for that strand, one available. So it says smoky quartz is an elegant stone. It really is. It doesn't get as much love today as it used to, these days, I mean, but it is a really, really beautiful, beautiful stone. This one, I don't know how this one was missing, missing from us for a while. Like I said, I found a bag. This is a beautiful pale emerald. Let's see, what can I do for you on these? They were 68. That's a really fair price. I'll bring them down. I can't do much. I'm going to bring it down to 62. I know it's not a lot, but it's a little bit. It's a little for you because these are lovely. These are a pale emerald. And they are a graduated faceted rondelle, just like the tourmalinated and rutilated quartz was. And these are beautiful little pale emeralds. Isn't that stunning? Beautiful strand. One only again. Just the one. I don't know why my voice now is suddenly like my throat's doing that now. Sorry, y'all. Anna says, those are yummy, aren't they? Look at that. Look at how beautiful the color. It's almost minty green. Like in some of the light, it's almost like a minty, and you don't see that in emeralds very often. At least I think. I don't see it that often. Andrew says, I love them. There's only the one strand left. Again, it's on these silver lobster claws and extender chains. They are graduated, so they go from about, it's going to 2.7 here, to the largest here is 5.3. So 2.5 to about 5.5. Jennifer says, such a vibrant tealish pale emeralds. I know, right? So pretty. Like, oh, I can't imagine getting those now at this price. We've seen what prices are doing right now. I can't imagine getting them anymore at that price. So hopefully somebody will grab them. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's grabbing anything, but I hope you are. I appreciate it if you are. I appreciate it even if you're not and you're just watching. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Susan says it's almost like chrysoprase. I know, right? I know. I'm going to put the garnets away. These are the garnets. I've got 3 strands of these. And just so you know, like we don't pull the switch 'em, change 'em game where we show you one and the others are like, ugh, and that's what we send you. These are the other ones. So this is all 3 strands. So you can't even tell which one was the original, right? They're all so nice. We wouldn't change them out on you like that. We don't do that. We have multiples. They are all beautiful. And we don't just say that because they're ours, our little babies. They are truly all beautiful. All right, let's put lot 2 away as well. This is the tourmalinated and rutilated, mostly tourmalinated, but you can see there's rutilation in there. There's some of that gold showing through. $45 if it's still available. I don't know. I don't know if anybody bought it. Sometimes it's nice not knowing through the live, because then I just, then you don't know either. So if you want it, you got to grab it, right? There's that added excitement, right? If you know it's sold, you're like, okay, I missed it. That's fine. But if you don't know it's sold, then you're like, ooh, wonder if that's still available. Oh, these, I have no idea. This is another one. This is another one that I cannot believe, because iolite, which is what these are, is such a stone that is so popular. People love the iolite we get. And these we have. So this is LOT6. This is iolite. These were $85. I am going to bring them down to, I'll bring them down to 70. That is really, truly the lowest I can do, because you're going to see why. Andrew says, did you know that before World War II, emeralds were the most common stone for engagement rings? They're supposed to symbolize life. I didn't know that they symbolized life. I did know they were common for engagement rings. Because we watch all those shows, right? Everyone has emerald rings. Susan says, iolite seems harder to come by these days. It does, which is why this price is good. Because this is another case where if we were increasing prices based on demand, like some people do, or what they would cost today, this is low. I'm going to show you all 3 strands. Iolite. Look at the beautiful colors in that iolite. These are faceted rounds, graduated faceted rounds. Beautiful iolite. Leslie says, emerald is my birthstone. Nice. Beautiful iolite. And I'm going to show them this way, and then I'm going to hit them with the light. These are all on the sterling silver as well. Look at that color. Beautiful iolite stones. I love iolite. It's such a pretty stone. It flashes from like that pale purple to a deep blue, and these have all the colors. These have all the colors in it. You got some of them with the deep blue, the paler purples, almost like a gray blue. Some of the stones have multiple colors in the same stone, just depending on which way they're facing. Like that one, light, dark, light, dark. It's so pretty. So this is lot number 6. 3 available. They're $70 a strand. 3 of them available at that price. Lot 6, if you'd like to purchase, send that to us, lot 6, in a subject line, in an email to info@allegorygallery.com. First come, first serve. Okay, I'm getting down to the end of my bag here of these particular wonders. Okay. This one started at, what is this? This price is so low nowadays. Now I'm going to take it a little bit lower. But not much. Because I can't go too low. We already give you good deals on our pricing. Oh, sorry. I missed my comment stopped working. Sorry, everybody. Oh, that's why. It held the comment for review. But now the comments seem to have quit on StreamYard. I don't know why. So let me flip this over to my Facebook. Let me refresh Facebook to see if my comments stopped. No, oh, yes. Yes, they did. So my StreamYard comments just stopped. Nice. So now I got to look over here. During World War II, there was a big marketing campaign about surpluses of diamonds. They told newly recruited soldiers that diamonds symbolized permanence and encouraged them to get their sweethearts' rings before they left for war. So there's this changeover to diamonds, everybody. Size on the iolite, asked Anna. They are graduated. I forgot to give you the size. Sorry. Graduated from 4.2 approximately. So 4 to 5.5, 5.6. So about 4 to 5.5 millimeters. Now each strand may be a little bit different, but that's a pretty good. They're usually pretty close, and they're faceted rounds. This next strand, Sandra, I don't know if you have these. If you don't, get ready, because I know you're going to love these. Michelle says, I love my iolite drops I got from you. I made earrings out of them. Oh, good. Goody, goody, goody. And it says, the internet is wonky for sure. Yeah, the comments came up early today, and then they stopped now instead of the other way around. So Andrew says, I like diamonds, but it is wild to see how even the marketing persists. Yeah. Or even now the marketing persists. Okay. Lapis. Lapis, simple cut, faceted nuggets. One strand available, was 95. You know, if you wait till I show you this quality, you know that price is old. That is an old price. If we were to do that, this price would go up $88. I'm going to bring it down even a little more for y'all. Get it under that $90 mark. This is some heavy duty quality lapis. Look at this strand. Imagine taking those apart and using just one bead here and there in your designs. Beautiful, sparkling lapis. Deep blue in most of those. Look at that color. Stunningly beautiful. Faceted simple cuts. It goes on and on. We're not even to the other end yet, y'all. It goes on and on and on and on. And there we're at the end. Is that not stunningly beautiful? These are graduated too. This one starts at 7 by, we'll say 11. It's 10.8. 7 by 11 to the biggest one, which is 16 by 18 and a half. 7 by 11 to 16 and 18 by a half. One strand only. One only. Susan says, De Beers is the biggest controller of the world's diamond supply. And surprise, surprise, they control the new lab diamonds and the marketing, right? It doesn't matter where you get the diamonds now. It's all still going to go through them. Marianne says, the ads even tell you what you should spend on that diamond engagement ring, right? I know. So ridiculous. Andrew says, it's like how the brown diamonds they couldn't sell, but then they talk about chocolate diamonds and now there's a market for them. Yeah, right? Brown diamond, they're not the same as turning, oh, it's a chocolate diamond. Ooh, everybody's going to have the chocolate diamond now, right? Chocolate diamond now. Let's see here. I'm losing track. I'm losing track of getting my bags out of order, and I can't. They're marked. I gotta keep these bags together. What are we at? Lot 8. Okay, I'm almost done with this bag. This bag is moving away from some of these ones with the oh, what's the word? With the sterling. Let's see. Let me see something real quick. Because this one just has a number on it, but I need to know a little bit more about it. Let me look at my spreadsheet here. Oh, come on. I gotta go in the other program. Sorry, everybody. Look at those beautiful beads on the board, on the table, while I'm taking a walk through memory lane here. Interested, there are parts of South Africa where you can pick them up on the ground. They have towers where if you they have towers where if they see you bend down, they just shoot you. Better not tie your shoelaces. That's wild. Jennifer says, I seriously need to win the lottery. Me too. Me too. Okay, I'm almost there, y'all. Sorry about this. Okay, almost there. Okay, that was right. Okay, it was just, this was 38, and I wanted to make sure that's what we had because that is really not, it's pretty low. I'm going to take it down to 30. Let's just do an even 30, which is even lower, of course, for you all. Susan says, do what your heart tells you, not some big conglomerate, right? Yeah, do that. Get engaged how you want. We did beads. Marian says, some people are easily influenced. Some are, right? Susan says, whoa. About the shooting? Probably. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Garnets, y'all. These are really, we've had a few people in the online store grabbing this pyramid shape, this kind of faceted, rounded, puffy pyramid shape. And these are garnets. This is, I think, an 8-inch strand. Let me get out my wacky ruler. And I'm sorry, it's about a 7-inch strand, a little over 7 inches. And these are beautiful garnets. Again, really nice stones, really nice color. There's a little bit more orangey, browny orangey of a garnet. There's only one strand available. And instead of 38, we're doing it at 30 tonight for you. That one strand, if you want it, grab it. Lot 8, LOT 8. Andrew says, I still want a ring. Oh, do you? Oh, do you? Anne says, my sister and her now husband went to one of those places where you pan for gems. They found a blue topaz and later used it for her engagement ring. Susan says, Hessonite. I think that would be Hessonite. I would say that's probably Hessonite. It's not marked that way. Let me see. Actually, my spreadsheet it is. It wasn't on my bag. So yes, Hessonite garnets. You're right, Susan. Hessonite garnet. Andrew says, maybe a big sapphire as big as my eye. Ooh, look at him getting fancy. Look at him getting fancy. Okay, I'm going to put the Petro tourmaline away. I don't know if anyone grabbed this beauty. I hope so. Is that what I want to say? For that price, I do hope somebody grabbed it. I'm kind of going to be sad that it's gone now that it's been refound, but that's okay. If it goes to a good home and gives us some money to pay the mortgage, that's great. This is the smoky quartz. One strand of those are big. These are big beads. They put some big beads on there, and they are gem quality. Gem quality. $65 for that strand. That's a deal. Michelle says we got our rings custom made, cost a bit of money, and engraved inside. Nice. Susan says sapphires come in such variety of colors, not just blue. It's true. Teresa says I have a sapphire engagement and wedding rings. Blue sapphire, you get all different colors. I'm also going to put this pale emerald away. I don't know if anybody grabbed it, but there it is. Lot 5. Lot 5. Okay, I'm going to move the eye light down, and the beautiful lapis lazuli or lazuli. We found out, Marianne did the research. It's pronounced either way. Lapis lazuli, I think, is here in the US, and I think lapis lazuli is UK, British English. How about that, y'all? If you didn't learn that with us before, you learned something new today. Maybe. Maybe not. I've got 2 of these available. These were 19. I'll bring them down to 16, but they're really like they shouldn't even come down. But it's like that's what we do. That's what we do on the live. We give you the good deals, the best deals we possibly can. I've got 2 strands of these available. These are tiger eye faceted rounds, little ones. I mean, not they're 6 millimeters. They feel little. We always just seem to have bigger beads a lot of times in these kind of loose strands like this. 6 millimeter. It's such a nice size. Really quality stones. Faceted rounds. Nice tiger eye. Beautiful tiger eye. Really deep, rich color in some of those too. And of course, that brilliant chatoyance from tiger eye that you get. That cat's eye flash in almost all of those stones. So pretty. So 2 strands, they're both shown here. That's 1 strand. And they are $16 each, 2 of them available. Okay, that's 1 bag. Now I have no idea what's in the other bag that I brought with me. So we're going to find out together. Let's see. Teresa says blue sapphire engagement and multiple color wedding ring. That's lovely. Susan says it sounds beautiful, Teresa. Right? Susanna says beautiful tiger eye color. It is. It is. Andrew says I have a big sapphire and a Kia ring, but I want a different setting. That'd be nice, right? Marianne says a pleasant surprise, we hope. I hope. I'm going to try and sell these to you. I hope. You know, all of our stuff is pleasant, right? It's all nice. Just depends if you're in the mood for it. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I can't, this is $15. I'm going to leave it at $15. This is a Christina Leonard bronze clay coin. Bronze clay coin, Christina Leonard. And it's a dragonfly coin. There's 1 of these available. It already has some patina on it. You can see it's really pretty. Bronze coin, approximately 18.5 millimeters. Artisan made. 1 available. 1 available. Lot number 10. Let's see what else. At least I brought a lot of stuff to pick from. These are antique African, which are actually, as we know, Venetian. They're antique Venetian, which became African trade beads. This is a whole set. These are antique. I think 1800s generally. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 beads for $26. These are kind of more of a collector kind of thing. But still, I mean, they are, but that's what, $2.60 a bead? That is nothing for the age of these beads and what they've been through in this world. And they show you the age. These are not, perfect beads. These are beads that show the age. I love that kind of bead. We all shouldn't be afraid to show our age, right? I have a hard time with that sometimes, but it should be true. So these are beautiful beads. Venetian African trade. Stunningly beautiful, I think. Brilliant colors. I love this black, almost Rastafari colors right in some of them. This green, red, yellow, black. Lot 11, only one lot of those, one group. You get what you get, or you get what you see, if you get that. And that's lot 11. I'm going to put the eye light away. It's taking up room now. We're going to move on. I hate to do it because it's so pretty. I hope somebody grabbed some of those, one of those at least, because iolite is going up and up and up in price and harder to find, as we found. Marion says, with age comes wisdom. I am pretty wise. Nice. I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting wiser. Maybe I'm getting, I don't know. I feel like I was very wise when I was young, but that's that lapis. I don't know if that's wise to sell that lapis at $88, but Anne says, with age comes retirement. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping maybe someday we can retire. Maybe that's when Allegory Gallery ends, when we retire. I don't know. Maybe before that, maybe after that. We'll always keep creating and doing fun things in some way. But yeah, retirement sounds like, I've watched my mom in retirement and she has been loving it. And it's so nice to see her enjoying her retirement, and it makes me look forward to possibly retiring someday. Let's see what's next. What are we doing next? Oh yeah. This is a copper pressing by Andrew. He pressed this copper out using a die press. Some of y'all love these. You've grabbed these before. And this is Hera there. Who is this, Andrew? It's written right here, but I can't tell. There's actually letters right here. Andrew says, I'm forgetting a lot of stuff. Suzanne says, maybe you don't need to remember it, right? And Anne says, oh, wait. First, Norma says, Anne, retirement is a wonderful thing. Anne says, Norma, I'm glad to hear it, right? So this is a copper pressed piece that you can enamel on top of if you want to, or powder coat on top of. You can put a hole in it if you want to. You can cut this down, sand it down, turn it into a pendant, turn it into, you could use it to seed bead around, whatever you want to do with it. $10, pressed in copper by Andrew. Oh, let me give you the size on it as it is. Armand Vargas designed the original, says Andrew. It's 31 millimeters approximately, 30.8. It says, oh, Terra for Earth. So Terra. There you go. And I love the little kind of, got that What's that called? That oak. I know it comes from an oak tree. Whew. Some days, talk about forgetting my words. Acorn. There's the word. It comes from an oak tree. She got an acorn earring. Nice. When you're live, it's a lot of pressure to get those words. Let's see. What else do I have in here? Had these at 18. I'll bring them down to 14. I think there's 4 of them. Come on. Marianne says acorn. Thank you. These are pre-night, but it's mostly the green from the pre-night. You see some of them have a little bit of black, but these are pre-night rounds. These are vintage. Most of them are just the green part of the pre-night. And they were 18. I'm bringing them down to $14 a piece. There are 4 of them available. 6 millimeters, 6 millimeter smooth rounds. Here's another strand just to show you. Marianne says, in my pantheon, that would be Nerhus. Nerhus? Andrew said there's a series of these. He's like, acorn, bro. Yeah, it's an acorn. I had oak leaf in my mind. I had oak. I knew it came from an oak tree. Could I think of acorn? I'm like, what's the thing with the little hat on it? The little seed with a hat on it? Ooh-wee. All right, vintage strands, 6 millimeter rounds. That's what I said, right? 6 millimeter. Yeah, 6 millimeter, 6 millimeter, 6 millimeter on the dot. Rounds, pre-night, green mostly, green part of the pre-night. $14 each. There is correct, Dwayne. Thank you, Marion. There's. Okay, let's see. Come on. I'm trying to keep everything in order here. It's not wanting to do what I want it to do. Okay, let me move this one. The Hessonite garnet, faceted pyramids. I don't think I gave you a size on these. They are 6 millimeter. 6 millimeter on the pyramids. $30 for the strand. We had a number of different ones in the online store. Somebody just bought a number of those in that style. I'm going to put the tiger eye away. Got 2 of those available. Those faceted rounds, $16 a string. And I'm going to put the Christina Leonard bronze piece away. 1 of those available, doesn't sold, $15. Thank you all again for hanging out with us tonight. I hope you're having a good time hanging out with us. We appreciate you all being here. It's so nice to see so many wonderful people hanging out and waiting to be creative. Supporting this creative thing we do means a lot to us. And you all mean a lot to us. Let's see here, lot 14. What's next? Boy, I did pull a weird bag though. I pulled a very weird bag. Oh, what? How many of these do I have? 1, 2, I didn't know we still had this. 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 of these. I'm going to do them at the low, low price of $8. These are rainbow obsidian chips. Rainbow obsidian chips. If you like chip beads. Andrew says, I once taught a class with inner city kids and we were talking about trees and none of them knew that acorns came from oak trees, right? Isn't it something when you're young, you don't know some of that stuff? This is rainbow obsidian chip beads. And let me see. Let me see if we get. There, you see some of those rainbows? It depends if you get the light just right, but they're flashing, a lot of flashes on green on these. I have, let's see. Yeah, you can see there's some purple flashing. You see those rainbows happening depending on how the light hits. These are really pretty. These are also vintage strands, so they're nice quality. I know some people don't like chips, but that was one of our prompts. It's always one of our prompts in Beat in the New Year because, yeah, look at that. Look at those flashes. Because people don't like to use them for some reason, so we've kind of forced you to. If you want to do all the prompts, you got to use chips. But they're nice. They're nice strands. This is, let's see here. Yeah, about a 16-inch strand, 15 to 16-inch strand. And the chip sizes, let's see, they are approximately average about 9 millimeters. Say 9 millimeters, give or take, as you can see. They're all different sizes. Okay, lot 15, halfway through, y'all. Halfway through. Ooh. This is a dyed chalcedony. And this is a vintage strand. These are so pretty. If you like these little sparkly beads, this is an emerald green, faceted drop, dyed chalcedony. It's an 8-inch strand. Let's see, what did we have it at? 32. I'm going to bring it down to 28 for you all. $28. It's an exceptionally beautiful strand. Look at that. Amazing vintage strand. It is emerald green chalcedony. Faceted drop. These are always hard to size. That's about 7.5 millimeters. 7.5 millimeter drops. And let's get that light up on them. Look at that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Kimberly says, oh, I crocheted a piece with chips over the weekend. Better post it. Yeah, please do. Please do. Love to see that crochet work. Look at those. And they've got tassels, y'all. You know it's a good strand. They're green and they almost have a blue to them. Am I the only one seeing that? Maybe. I feel like there's a little bit of a blue in there. Andrew says, dragonflies are such cool symbols. They say that they represent transformation and self-actualization, and they sometimes are messengers from the other side. Yes, that Christina Leonard piece. Lennis is here. It's a texture thing. I don't like how chips fill on my neck. Any of his designs will be lower down on a necklace or earrings. Nice. I can understand that. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever worn a chippy thing on my neck. I put chips in my bracelets and things, and it doesn't bother me there. I don't wear a lot of necklaces though. Most of the ones I wear usually have chain. Okay. Ooh. Is Norma still out there? Norma made a beautiful piece during our creative make along on Friday. I didn't even talk about that. It's Monday. The creative make along was Friday, wasn't it? Y'all, if you missed that, you missed out. We had a lot of fun. I didn't even talk about the weekend. I just talked about today. Like today was like Tuesday or Wednesday. We did a lot over the weekend. I don't know. I can't remember the weekend. Snowmageddon, not really. It wasn't that. We didn't have that much snow, but um, we had a great creative make along. I have to say, it was amazing. And we had a good number of people who joined us. And we had a great time chatting, I think, and just talking about stuff and making stuff. Here's what I made. I didn't even show. I didn't put a clasp on it yet. I went citrus themed. I wanted to do something citrusy. So I went through the pile of things that we had on our lives over the past few weeks and found the things. It started with these. I wanted to use these so bad, these little orangey slices. Um, and then I went wild for the citrus. And I used some malachite chips in green. I used some furnace glass. I used these are Vaseline glass. They glow under a black light. I've got these tulips, check glass tulip beads, some carnelian from a mix that Andrew created, a luxury bead blend that he created. These green beads are from that as well. I have some gold spacers in there. And I have these little, we had all these strawberries in various colors, and I found those and used them. Those are vintage Czech or vintage German, I think, glass. And then there's some pearls that were in the bead blend that Andrew made, and some of these other beads are from the bead blend as well. And somewhere in here, oh, these are from these Monique, the Javanese glass. They're from the luxury bead blend. And then there are some, I think, oh, maybe they were too tiny. Maybe they didn't fit. Oh no, they're right here. They're in between these strawberries. These little green crystals, beauties were in that luxury bead blend as well. So I put that together. Um, let's see here. And we got to see kitties, says Susan. That's true. We did. Says the make along was fun. Uh, And Norma says, I love my chip platypus bracelet. Yeah, it came out so good. So it says, William, your bracelet has quite the party vibe. Thanks. Yeah, it's citrus fun. I wanted it citrusy. Um, Andrew says, I'm sorry I missed it. I wasn't feeling good. And Andrew says, did you find those on the table downstairs? Did I find what on the table downstairs? I don't know what you mean. I don't remember finding anything on the table downstairs. It's possible because I think I was downstairs pulling stuff before that. You need those. Is that the strawberries? Because they were missing, I think. And maybe those were the one thing that weren't up here. Jennifer says, how would the green drops look with the pale emeralds? The green drops with the pale emeralds. Okay, before I move into showing that, the strawberries. I might have found them downstairs. I only used like 5. I only used 5. So this is the Pal Emerald we had from before. I don't know if it's sold. It's lot number 5. It's $62. And then you have the lot 15. They would look magical together. Magical. There's your answer. Magical, Jennifer. Really nice together. The play of that chalcedony, because that chalcedony has kind of like that inner glow. The inner glow of the chalcedony is almost the same green as that pale emerald. Really nice. So I don't know if anybody got the pale emerald. Wait, that goes there. But if not, it's lot number 5. If you're interested, $62 instead of 68. And lot 15 is 28 instead of 32. Andrew says, I was hoarding them, but you can have some. You can have the rest back. I just needed that many. I wasn't even going to put them on. But then I kind of liked it with that green. They remind me of a secret Glen. It's true. It's true. Marianne's going to switch to TV only. Okay, Marianne. That means we're not going to hear from Marianne. She can't answer our questions. She's like our question answerer. This was 28. This is the thing that reminded me of everything that we did this weekend with the creative make along. I'm going to bring this down to 22. This is a beautiful lamp work. And I just remembered that because Norma made the most beautiful lampwork necklace. She used 3 lampwork beads that she got with us that have a silver mesh, I think, inside, if I'm correct. And she put them on bars and put it on chain, and it's so pretty. So if you missed that in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group, check it out. It's so much, it was so much prettier in the video too, but it's really pretty on the in the pictures. And this is not the same, but it reminded me of that because this is kind of has that gold that, and this reminds me of the pots I made that have the overflowing of the kind of bulbous texture. But this is in glass and it's in gold and it's like purple and pink and it's so pretty. I don't know who made this. I don't have the answer to that. I'm sorry. That's been lost over time unless Andrew knows off the top of his head. But I think we'd have it written down if he knew for sure. Or maybe I just didn't write it down. It's 23.5 millimeters by 20 millimeters. One available. Beautiful lampwork glass bead, $22. Okay. What am I putting away? I'm going to put away the African beads. I don't know if they've sold. The Venetian glass African trade, $26, lot 11. And I'm going to put away lot 12. This is the Terra pressed copper that could be powder coated or enameled on if you want to. $10. It was pressed by Andrew using vintage dies. And I'm going to put this away. This is the Pre-Night. Nice little inexpensive Pre-Night strands, mostly the green of the Pre-Night with a little bit of black here and there. $14 only. Just nice vintage strands. Good price on those. Lot 13, $14. And let me move my bracelet out of the way so it doesn't get taken off of its little strand before time. Okay, let me see. Let's move these down. The Rainbow Obsidian, $8. The beautiful Chalcedony may be still available, $28. The Lampwork glass may be still available, lot 16, $22. Lot 17. Let me take a drink. One moment, everybody. What do y'all have for dinner? We didn't ask for the dinner question. We've been talking so much, we didn't get to dinner. That's unusual for us not to talk about food. We picked up pizzas. Andrew was like, "What do you want?" I was like, "I don't know." We had one pizza in the freezer, so I was like, "Let's get another pizza. Why not?" Because we eat 2 pizzas when we eat. That's just we each have a pizza. We split it in half, share it, but they're just the frozen pizzas. They're small. It's not like we're eating these huge pizzas. Don't worry. Andrew said the dies are new, but but they're of vintage and historic designs. Yes, sorry, I didn't mean to say it's of a vintage design. The dies are not vintage; they're new, but they're pressed. They are created from vintage designs. Anne's having apples, carrots, cauliflower with hummus. Ooh, regular hummus or a flavored hummus? Probably regular, right? With that. Maybe not. There's all different kinds of hummuses. I love like the pickle hummus, and then there's a spicy. Is it spicy like an? I don't know if it's spicy Asian. I forget what they call it. It's so good. Um, Kimberly says, I was going to make tater tot casserole, but Hubs came in and pouted wanting soup. So I made Santa Fe soup with tortellini. You love your tortellini, don't you? I love that. The tater tot casserole sounds, I would have been, yes, let's have that tater tot casserole. Norma had loaded potato skins and cream of onion soup. Cream of onion? I don't think I've ever had cream of onion soup. Not by itself, not, huh. It sounds delicious. Lot 17. This is a vintage Czech or a vintage Western German. I can't remember. This is a whole lot of these beads. These are moon and star beads. Moon and stars. And these are these little coins. And you get the whole lot of them. I don't know how many of them are here. There's a lot of them here. That's a pretty nice size strand, is what that is. Andrew says, I don't love the pickle one. I like the red pepper one. The red pepper hummus is good too. Yeah. Jennifer's having pizza. Susie's having pizza. We're all having pizza. Pizza, pizza, pizza. Jennifer says, I like the hummus with olives. Ugh. Sorry, Jennifer. I do not like olives. If you didn't see the video that Andrew took of me in Italy, he took a video of me eating an olive. Yeah. Andrew says we were told check on these. Okay. I couldn't remember. 13.2 millimeters, about 13 millimeter coins. And I love these vintage, maybe antique, check. At least vintage. Really cool. Where are you going to see those? I don't know if you can find those anywhere else. Maybe. I don't know. We have them. Part of our vintage collection that we share with you all. $18 only. $18 only. Okay. Lot 18 coming up. And again, if you're just tuning in, sorry, I can't tell you. Normally we tell you if things are sold, but I can't because I don't have my device up here. And that's okay. So we're just going to keep on keeping on. Let's do an easy one. $5. $5. Andrew says you can still find these. Okay. So they're not that special. Sorry, everybody. Andrew says you were fine. With the olive, that's not a flattering video, but it's all right. I think I got a back rub out of it or something. I was bet. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of these little kind of pinch beads. In that, it's called Givre, right? Two color, two tone, two color, two glass. And these also have kind of that moonstone kind of flash to them in that glass. Really pretty. $5 for the lot of 10 beads. 50 cents a bead. That's a good deal. Vintage check. Andrew says, they are an old design. They came from my trays. Okay. Nice. Oh, everybody's talking over here. Let's see here. Anne says, I can't tolerate garlic. It's a nice mild hummus with no garlic by a local place called Bunky's. Hummus without garlic. I have never. That's interesting, though. I would like to taste that, I think. Because sometimes we use a lot of garlic in our food. Andrew uses a lot. I like a lot. But sometimes um, I feel like it does upset my stomach. Or, garlic is what? It's an anti-something. Antiviral. And I feel like sometimes it does bad things to me if I have too much of it. But I've built up quite a tolerance, I would say. But it would be good to try a hummus without it, maybe. Kimberly says, I do. I don't know. I didn't know it could be so versatile. Leslie had leftover quiche. What kind of quiche? Teresa's made homemade pizzas. Ooh, you're fancy. You fancy. What kind of homemade pizzas? What'd you put on them? Lena says we had stew in a crock pot, pork and potato. Ooh, I love a good crock pot stew. I have to say, I do. Emily says, I've made a lasagna of sorts with tortellini. Huh. I've never heard of that, but that sounds good. I like a little tortellini. I'm gonna put away the rainbow obsidian. Lots of veggies. Quiche with lots of veggies. Nice. Jennifer, oh, those are Austrian glass. So these are Austrian, y'all, not Czech. I'm wrong. Austrian, which means they probably should be a little bit more, but they're not. They're $5. I'm gonna put this away in case it's still available. I don't know if it is. $28. It goes really well with that pale emerald. I would be surprised. I think it was Jennifer that asked that if they did not sell after she asked that, because we put them together and they looked delightful. Move these over. It's hard to let go of a combo when something looks so good together. These are Austrian glass. I'm going to write that on here in case they don't sell for next time. But I'm gonna put the energy into them. They can go out the door. Jennifer says, usually though, the moon and star beads are not one color. They have a gold wash or something. Yeah, these are all, they have no wash. And it's not like the wash is off of them. Like none of them have it. So there you go. Something different. See, they are different. They are special. They're all special. Lot 19. I don't know what happened. I'm like, getting out in that cold, doing stuff today. I'm like, my energy, and I'm probably gonna pass out at some point. Oh, here's the, okay, so if you got Terra, haha, if you got Terra earlier, here's O, which means water, right? E-A-U, E-A-U, water. So here's the water one. It matches the Terra one that we had earlier. Andrew pressed all of these using vintage designs on new dies. And I have 3 of these ones, $10, 3 of these ones. These are 28 millimeters, approximately. And again, you could powder coat these, you could enamel these, you could do patina these. They are copper. You could patina them using patinas. You can poke holes in them. You could make them a connector, put multiple holes wherever you want, a little hole punch, whatever you want to do. Nice little, if you like to work with, kind of like that's the starting point right there. That's like, you can do what you want with that once you have that going on. Let's see here. Oh, Michelle needs to go. Night, everyone. Good night, Michelle. Thanks for hanging out with us. Lena says, you can actually have garlic poisoning. I used to love garlic. Now I can only have it cooked. Huh. I think I have heard of that. Maybe you told me that before. Probably you told me that before. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever gotten that much, but I do sometimes have issues with garlic. I thought I was allergic to garlic. When I started getting hives and stuff, that was one of the things that I asked to have tested was garlic. But it just seems to be the garlic in a jar that probably some preservative they use of some sort or something, and it makes me, itchy. Teresa says, my husband had sausage and mushrooms, daughter buffalo chicken and blue cheese, and I had mushrooms, spinach, artichokes, and goat cheese. I like yours the best. But you didn't just make like one kind of pizza. You made 3 different pizzas. That's freaking awesome. Good going. Valerie says, I make lasagna with zucchini slices, thinly sliced to replace the noodles. Also, always add finely chopped broccoli in with the ground beef. Actually so good and low carb bonus. That sounds really good. We can't have the beef, but we could have fake beef crumbles. I've known some people who do the thinly sliced zucchini, and I bet it's really good. Andrew says, "You got the blood flowing." I did. And I'm like, I've got some energy now. I don't know. Normally by this time I'm like wearing out. But I've got some energy. I am starting to get tired though. My back is starting to hurt is what's happening. Um, that Tylenol is wearing off, y'all. The Tylenol is wearing off. What should we do next? Let's do another um, more inexpensive strain or grouping. This is $6. We started off with some higher price stuff, so we'll see. Andrew says you can see the Armand Vargas initials. Yeah, I meant to say that. I didn't. Right there. AB at that corner. See it right there. Sorry, my nails are dirty, probably from being outside and shoveling and all that. AB. Armand Vargas made that design. Let's see. Lennis says could be Chinese garlic, or they left parts of the middle to save money. That's indigestible. Yeah, I break out. We can't use minced garlic, pre-minced. Fresh garlic though, no problem. So we use fresh garlic now all the time. I also can't drink lemon juice out of a like the concentrated lemon juice. I can't drink that. It has something. Even if I put like just a few drops of that in my big thing of water, I end up breaking out like crazy. I did it once and had it happen, and I was like, it can't be the lemon juice. Then I did it again, and I had like almost nothing to eat other than having that, and I started breaking out. It's so weird. But I can have regular lemon juice. I can squeeze a lemon, no problem. Anyway, these are beautiful vintage check drops. Bicolor again. These drops are 18 by 24, almost 25 millimeters, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them for $6. 60 cents a bead. I think it's funny how you say Armand, 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 Armand. How do I say it? How do I say it now? Armand. It's like Armand Hammer. Armand, Armand, Vargas, Armand, Armando. I don't know. Anyway, lot 20. Lot 21. Okay. Anybody still watching? I got a few people. A few people still watching. Thank y'all. Now, Andrew's gonna have to tell me a little bit more about these because I see the price on these, and I think they're glass, but I don't know. These were 32 a strand. I'm gonna bring them down to 28, but they're special, I think, and Andrew is gonna have to tell me why. Um, Teresa says it's probably all the preservatives. I cannot use those things either. Yeah, there's something in it, right, Teresa? There, I know the lemon juice has two different preservatives that they list. The garlic doesn't list preservatives usually, it's just like minced garlic. But I know there has to be something in there because it does the same thing to me every time we've used it. These are old glass of some sort. They look like carnelian, but I believe they're old glass. And I'm gonna give time for Andrew to see what I'm talking about so he can tell you more. Maybe he doesn't know more. Maybe it's just they're an old glass. But they're already come on this lovely. Andrew just says they're old. Okay, they're old. There it is. There's the story. It's an old glass. These come on a hook and eye kind of clasp. Um, they're really pretty. They're let's see. There's one or two stones on it too. Yeah, there are. Like this one, So I was gonna say that's a stone right there. And there might be another one. I think that's kind of the pendant on the necklace is an actual stone. But the rest are glass. It's super pretty. Um, and they're old. It's old glass. Was 32 a strand. That's what the price came on it. $28. $28 for y'all. All right. I don't know if this sold yet, but this lampwork glass bead is going away. Was 28, now 22. It's still available. Then these beautiful moon and star beads, they're going away. These beautiful coins, there's a lot of them in there. Oops, just dropped one. There's one less now. No, I found it. Susan says, Teresa, your pizza sounds yummy. It does. Her pizza especially. All of them sound yummy. I can't eat any of the other ones. But even if I could, sausage and mushroom, I do like sausages, but a little bit heavy for what I'm thinking right now. Because we have a veggie pizza coming and a mushroom and I think a mushroom garlic pizza. So buffalo chicken and blue cheese, that's really rich. That's like rich. That's good, but not in my mood. The mushroom, spinach, artichoke, I love artichokes. And goat cheese, it's delicious sounding. Everybody else has good food. Such good food tonight. What kind of pizza are you having, Susie? I know you said you're having pizza too. What kind of pizza you got going on? I can't scroll my mouse, so I can't go up and see. But I think you said pizza. Oh my goodness. I thought this was like 5 strand or 4 strands. It's not, it's one big strand. Um, this would be 28 normally. 7, 14, 21, 28. Because I think we do these at 7 at the low price for y'all. Like 9 normal, 7 for crystal. I'll do it at 24 for the whole strand. Let's just do it. 24 for the whole strand of crystal. Look how much. That's all one strand. It's also got some nice metal spacers. Those metal spacers in there would be, those are nice too. Are they metal? They look like metal to me. Big strand of crystal. Normally, like I said, normally a strand about that size is $7 to $9, 7, 14, 21, 28. So I'll do it at 28 at the lowest, but we're even doing it even lower. So $6 instead of 9, $6 for that size. And now you get them all $24. You have to buy it all. And these crystals are, well, that one keeps wanting to go crooked. 8 millimeter, 8 millimeter crystals. Looks like clouds, says Linus. They do, right? They're really pretty. Did I hold the light up to them? I didn't. Look at them. They've got a blue metallic flash on the kind of gray side of the crystal. They're really pretty. They do look like just like clouds. A little bit of blue sky flashing between some of the grayer clouds. They are really pretty. $24. Teresa says, it's hard being the only vegetarian in the house. I have to make their pizzas, then wash everything, then make mine. I cannot even imagine. That's like, I was not going to become vegetarian if Andrew didn't. I wanted to kind of more maybe, but I would never have done it if he wouldn't have agreed to do it. And I think vice versa, because it's just, that's too much. That's too, I mean, you're like a saint for doing that because that would be, I don't think we could do that. Andrew says it's supposed to have been excavated in Mali and Jen outside of Timbuktu. Oh, this. So there you go. Glass excavated from Mali in Djenne outside of Timbuktu. So that's why that's a more expensive strain. Okay. Lot 23. Thank you all again for hanging out with me. It's really nice to have you all here and hanging out for a while. I know this one is this live feels like it's taking longer, but we had a good conversation at the beginning, which always makes these enjoyable. Makes them longer, but makes them more enjoyable, I think. Oh, these are nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 of these available. They are $5 each. This is if you want some really nice labradorite. You don't want to buy the very expensive strand of labradorite. Susan says, that would be hard, Teresa. We're both vegetarian here. It would be tough having one vegetarian and one carnivore in the same kitchen. Yeah, it would. That would be very, very difficult, I think. These are beautiful labradorite drops. Look at that neon blue. They're so pretty. They've got great flash. I'm just going to show you some of them. They're top drilled across the top. Got to hit the light right. You know how labradorite is, but they've got really good. This came from a really high quality strand. It was so expensive. We just took it apart. So you could buy bead by bead. We do that sometimes when we know beads are going to be super expensive. And look at the kind of flashy, almost like sunstone quality. I don't know if you've been noticing it in these, but it's a sparkling quality to them, almost like a sunstone. They're so pretty. They're $5 a bead or a drop. They're about 18 by 15 millimeters. Some are thicker than others. Some are going to be a little bit they're not all the same. Oh, I love this kind of darker one too. It's got that right there that some people may not like, that inclusion, but I love it. I just love how it's a darker gray. 10 of them available. Lot 23, $5 each. Oh, Andrew says, not the glass, just the agate. So this agate was excavated. Just the agate. The rest of the glass is just old glass. All right. There you go. We'll get it together here at some point. All right, I'm going to put the Austrian Austrian glass away. $5 if nobody grabbed that. Lot 18. And let's see here. Oops, sorry, everybody. I think I went. Oh, sorry. I keep hitting the wrong button. Sorry, everybody. I think I'm back. I needed to check my battery because I don't have the plug up here, and I wanted to make sure, but I've got battery power left. I'm going to put away low. That's lot 19. And I'm going to put away lot 20. This dual colored check glass drops. $6 for that lot. Okay, I'm going to move this over. I'm going to move this over. Again, I don't know if anything's selling. Normally I tell y'all, but I am without a device to tell you. I also have to cut some more papers. So one moment while I do that, find my scissors. I think I put them all up here. So what have you all been watching on TV lately? We've started watching the last season of Queer Eye, and it's been really nice. I know there was some drama. I don't know if you've read all the drama, going on behind the scenes apparently, but the show has been really good. The last one we watched, it was a little difficult. I will say the person was a little extra, that they tried to help. And I think they did help, but the person was a little extra. It was a little, sometimes it's a little hard to watch. They were fighting most of the way, but it's been a good season so far. Andrew says, that's one thing about the new phones. They hold the battery for a long time. Yeah, I've got like 22%. I can make it through the rest of these. I'm gonna speed up a little bit. And then we'll do some giveaways at the end. How about that? If I've got some battery power left, Andrew mentioned giveaways. Let's do it. So once we get to 30, then we'll do some giveaways. I don't know what I'm going to give away, but we'll find something. We'll find something for y'all. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15. These were $1 each. I'm going to bring them down to a little bit less. I'm going to sell the whole lot if I can together. Lot 24. Let's see here. Teresa says, my oldest daughter is vegetarian, but she doesn't live at home. When she comes to visit, I have someone to share food with. I've been vegetarian for 40 years. That's nice. That's wild. These beautiful green glass beads with an AB finish. So there's 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there's 15 of them. We were selling them at $1 a bead before. I'm going to do the whole lot of them for 12. If you want it, a whole lot of them for 12. Beautiful green. Got that AB 12 millimeter beads. Beautiful beads. Susan says, for our snow day, we watched some classic Star Trek episodes. That's cool. We started watching the classic ones, but Andrew was a little bit, he had a harder time watching them. Andrew had a harder time watching the classic episodes. So we moved on from that, but that's cool. I used to watch those with my mom. My mom and I we'd even like rent the movies. So we started renting the movies together. So some weekends when we were both around, and I was still pretty young. I don't know if I was a teenager yet, but it was kind of like a thing we do when she wasn't too busy and we had some time. We would go rent a movie at the actual movie store. We didn't have a Blockbuster or anything, but it was a neighborhood. It was called Video Visions. Video Visions, and it was in um, the old fire department building that they had renovated and turned into a little shop. And they had all these kind of um, A-frame tables. So they'd have an A-frame table, and it would have like the racks across, and the VHS cover would sit in there, and they'd have a little hook with a little tag, and you take the tag if that's the movie you wanted, and you go to the front desk, and they'd give you your movie. And we would rent the Star Trek, the original movies, and we went through, I think, all of them over time. Lena says we've been on a British crime drama kick forever. Now we're watching Grace. Which Grace? Grace. What is that? I feel like I know that, but Terry says, I've watched Queer Eye for years. Yes, some are hard to watch. Yeah. Susan says, I haven't seen the newest Star Trek series. We did start that. Star Trek Academy. Is that Star Trek Academy? Why is that not? That doesn't sound right. But anyway, yeah, we started watching that. You can see that. I can't even think of the name. Andrew said these are vintage Czech crystal. Vintage Czech crystal. That's what those are. Starfleet Academy. Duh. Starfleet Academy. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. This was 16. I'm gonna bring it down to 12. This is, I think this is a dyed quartz. It's cold like stone. I think it's a dyed quartz, faceted rounds in this beautiful green. Another one of these beautiful green. There's been some nice greens tonight. There, Andrew said Starfleet. Yeah, Starfleet Academy. TV series Grace is Roy Grace. The book's by Peter James. I don't think we've watched that. These are about 7.5 millimeter faceted rounds. And they are $12. It is $12. There's only one. Only one of them. Only one. And I'm going to put this away. The antique stone with the vintage glass. Actually, ancient stone. Be an ancient stone, right? With the vintage or antique glass. I lost my bag for the crystal. What did I do with it? Luckily, I have another bag here that I'll use. I took all my bags away the other day. Susan says those glowing quartz beads are so pretty, aren't they? Lucy says the glow in the dark is wonderful. They're not quite glow in the dark, but they do glow nice. They do got a nice glow. I don't think I have my, I think I took my black light away. I don't know if they glow. I doubt they do. I don't think they're glass. I think they're quartz. I don't think that's going to glow under a black light. If they did, then they'd be glass. But I'm pretty sure they're a dyed quartz, vintage strained, which is really pretty. They are bright though. They do light up my life right now. I hear a fur baby outside my door. I didn't feed them before I started. They're probably like, what is happening? Daddy? Okay. Do you like big pendants and you cannot lie? These are $8 each. They're really nice. I do have a few. They're all a little different, but they're similar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I have 7 of these. If you like big pendants and you cannot lie. Oh, kitty, break is at hand, says Susan. I know, right? I'm gonna break in. They say the agate is Neolithic, but I think it's the style using Neolithic techniques. These are huge, beautiful shell pendants. And I love how they do this. They carve into this darker, I'm guessing. I don't think it's dyed. I think they carve into it down to that beautiful rainbowy layer. These are super light, by the way. They're nice and big, but because they're shell, they're very light. Like, I know people who could use that as an earring. Not everyone, but I do know people who would have no problem with that as an earring. 51.5 by 80 millimeters. $8 each, 7 of them available. Oops, let's put that down so I don't lose it. Let's see here. These are a wooden bead, I believe. I think they're a, here, I'll just show you. I don't know if they're a decoupaged wooden bead. I think they are. They're like a decoupaged wooden bead. And these are 16 millimeter rounds, large hole. large hole. $12 for the strand. 1 strand available. Valerie says, I get laughed at for this, but I have no satellite or cable. I have a Fire Stick with basic Netflix. Interesting thing though, I haven't turned on my TV for months. I love my British crime dramas and comedy programs, and I watch YouTube tutorials while I create, all on my phone. I'm so boring. Not really. I mean, we don't have we have internet, obviously. So we do apps through the internet. We don't have satellite or cable coming in anymore. We do have more channels than just Netflix, but we just pay for basic stuff. If it has ads, it has ads, you know. And we do watch I watch a lot of YouTube. Andrew watches a lot of YouTube too. Not as, I don't know. If we do watch YouTube, it's usually some kind of metal smithing or some kind of metal tutorial like that too. And let's see here, what's next? Let's do, these were 16. Let's do $12. It's a pair of lampwork. Lot 28. Andrew says the one has such long ads. Yeah. I think is it during Queer Eye we've been watching? It has really long ads. Is it that? Or was it the other one? Susan says, I like TV, but I far and away prefer radio. I listen to both terrestrial radio and internet radio. Yeah, you love your radio. It's awesome. These are beautiful, great for Easter. These little pastel beauties, lampwork glass. You get the pair of them for $12. 1 pair available. Look at the detail work. Look at the color. Lampwork glass beads. They are stunning, stunning beads. And these are about 19.5 millimeters. Oh, that's Andrew says, I feel like we were watching that school spirit show for 5 hours because of how many ads they had. Yeah. They did have a lot of ads. They did. I understand why people want to pay to take away the ads, but they do that on purpose, right? And then I pick up my phone when the ads come on, and then I miss half the episode, or at least the next portion of the episode. Vintage check crystal. Because I'm on my phone and didn't realize the actual episode started. That's how they get you. This multiple device, they've got me hooked. Moving these down. Got 2 more lots and we'll do some giveaways. How about it? These are fun. These are big. If you like big beads. Andrew says I would kind of tune out when the ads were on. Yeah, you tune out and then you can't, it's hard to tune back in. Andrew said those would go well with the Easter kit. Yeah, I don't have an Easter kit here to show you, but Andrew released a new Easter kit and it's available in our online store, and those would go really nicely with it. Andrew said though they do play the ads so loud. Teresa says the only app I pay for is premium. Oh, for premium is YouTube. I do have a YouTube premium as well. I do have that. Because we do watch, when we watch YouTube from the TV, it plays through my account, and so we don't watch ads on that. Andrew says, oh, we started watching the new Game of Thrones. Yeah, the egg and dunk and egg and dunk one. It's really good. Was that It had me laughing out loud the other night because of how funny the characters were together. These are large ceramic with a crackle glaze. Nice large. They're not too heavy. Like I would think they would be heavier than this, but they're not that heavy. They're not earring material, but they're if you put that on a chain, on a pendant, it would not add like or on a necklace, it's not gonna add so much weight. 27 by approximately 26.5 millimeters, about 27 millimeter beads. Lot 29, $6. Susan says, our satellite TV was briefly out today. It was starting to get to my hubs, but didn't bother me in the least. We wound up listening to Ima Sumac. Nice. I started listening to her because of you. Um, Sometimes when I'm in here doing the spreadsheet at the end, that's who I put on now to listen to. Andrew says, the kid is the funny one. Yes, the kid is the funny one. Just his look, he didn't have to say a word, and I was cracking up. Just the way he looked at him, like incredulously. It was really funny. These would be good for Easter. Um, I am 98% sure these are dyed. They're vintage, so I don't have a. Yeah, these are. Yeah, pretty sure. Especially with the price. They're $12 each. If these are rose quartz. If these were not dyed, these are dyed. If these were not dyed, they would not. They're too nice to be $12. So that's how pretty much I know. And there's just some. Yeah, these are dyed. They're too perfectly. They're too perfectly colored for that price. But they're nice rose quartz. And if you want something for Easter, rose quartz is a beautiful stone. It's a very powerful stone too. These are 10 millimeter rounds. There are 2 strands available. This is the strand. 2 of these available. Dyed rose quartz, $12. That's the last lot for tonight before we get into some giveaways. So let me start taking these away and clearing the deck. This is the dyed quartz. Got some multiple dyed quartz. Green and the pink actually would look really pretty, I think, together. That's making me think of my bracelet that I made, and I could do something fun with those too. I'm really liking these kind of bright pastel-y. I don't know, bright pastel, is that even a thing? But it's kind of what that feels like to me. And let's see, let's put this away. $8 for those pendants. There are 7 of them available. I'll put a bag of them here. Susan says all these services have paywalls. Makes me crazy. Yeah, they do. Even like magazines and newspapers. And if I read them often enough, it might be one thing, but you'll see something in one, and you just want to read one article. And of course, they're going to make you pay for the month. Some are nice; you can just pay per article. I still sometimes I do, but I don't know. Just maybe give me some ads. Maybe I prefer to have some ads over that. But then sometimes the ads are so intrusive, like when they reload the browser because there's so many ads on the page that the page can't actually process them. And then it reloads before you're done reading it. That drives me insane. May is here. Is so surprised and happy you're still on. Yeah, we're just finishing up. We had a nice long chat at the beginning. Definitely replay that if you get a chance. It was fun, I think. I don't know how fun it would be in the replay, but I don't know. Susan says her voice was simply stunning. How on earth does one human make all those sounds? I know. She had a 5-octave vocal range. Some reports say she exceeded 5 octaves. It's amazing. Lucy says, we lost TV broadcast for a number of weeks. Less bad news anyway. Yeah, definitely less bad news, right? Um, Nothing wrong with that. Let's do some giveaways. Giveaways with us are pretty easy. I'm going to find something. I'm going to ask you a question. And the first person that I see in the comments to answer it wins the giveaway. Now, you do have to have a package coming, or you had to have ordered something tonight that you won to get the giveaway. Now, I don't know if you ordered something tonight and won it because I can't tell you. So we'll just go on that. Or you just promised to buy something later. We just can't ship giveaways for free. That's all. We would go broke shipping giveaways for free. We're going to start with a really nice giveaway. Let me see what's in here. This is the majority of one of our Global Adventure Bali kits. So you're going to get, this is a really nice giveaway, y'all. But I don't think it's the whole kit, so I can't sell it as a whole kit. So we're going to do a giveaway. You get a Allegory Gallery fine pewter toggle in antique silver. You get one of these. I think this is Allegory Gallery. I don't know that we sell this one though. I think this was a special reserve that we had. These are some pewter spacers. And then you get all of these beautiful glass beads. This was the Global Adventure Bali, part of that kit. And what question am I going to ask you all today? Okay. How about the first person to say in the comments where I was shoveling this afternoon? Where was I shoveling this afternoon? And the first person I see in the comments tell me wins it. Anna says cottage. Looking for the full name though. I don't know. I'll give it to you, Anna. It was the cottage. We call it the cottage. It is Star Cottage Studio. Star Cottage Studio. I'll give it to Anna. I feel like you need this today. I feel like you need that today. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to put Anna's name on it. There you go. Let's see. Jennifer says, yes, I find it so frustrating that they show a headline and one or two paragraphs, then you have to subscribe to read it, right? Anna says, oh, thanks. I do know Star Cottages. I know you do. I know you do. That's why. Andrew says, you know, though, I was thinking of this and we used to rent movies. So if you break it down, $4 a month isn't so bad. No, that's why I don't mind paying for some of them. I don't want to pay just to remove ads, but just the basic service. If you were like before, we would go out and rent a movie every weekend. And that was like $4 to $6 a movie sometimes. So, you paid for those anyway. And it still generally breaks down to less than cable. Andrew says, I want to do a come to my cottage pendant like heated rivalry. Come to the cottage. Yes. Do it. Do it. Let's do this. This is another nice giveaway. Let's do this one. Let's see here. This giveaway. Where is Andrew teaching his water slide decal class this year? Where is Andrew teaching his water slide decal class this year? Susan says, I always wind up reading the comments under the paywall article. I know, right? Figure out if you're gonna read or pay for it or what it said anyway. Lennis gets this one. Peters Valley. Peters Valley. That is correct. Let me put this in a bag for Lennis. Let's see. What else? What else do we have in here? Can we do? This is a broken strand. Let's. Susan says, I never pay for paywalls. This is a beautiful. It's just a broken strand. Check glass. I think check glass. Check crystal. Check glass. Look at that. That was $8, y'all. That strand before it was $8 too. It's just because this strand came open. So that's how I'm gonna do it. Let's see. What was the show that I said we started watching recently? The show I said, not Andrew said. The show I said we were watching recently. Susan says, I think that crystal strand was in a Halloween kit. Maybe. Could be. Could be. Looks like pyrite, says Jennifer, right? Flashy. It's AB coated too. Look at that. Look at that goodness. Not the new. We did watch the new Star Trek. Everyone's saying that, but that's not the first one I mentioned today. That was after somebody else mentioned it. What one did I first mention? Hint. I said the person was difficult. I said the person on the last one we watched was difficult. Let's see if I get it. Somebody's going to get it now. And Jennifer gets it with Queer Eye. That's right. Queer Eye. Let me put this. Put your name on this. All right, we'll do one more. One more giveaway. My battery's running low now on my phone, giving me that warning. Let me find something else. These are fun. Painted wooden beads. Whoa. Painted wooden beads. These are really fun. Large and very light. Easy earrings if you wanted to. Lots of fun. Nice bright colors. 19.3, so about 19 millimeters. And let's see. Tell me what your favorite thing was that we talked about earlier in the video. That's easy. Tell me what the favorite thing was that we talked about earlier in this live. Whatever it was. And then you get these. First person. Can be anything. I've had a really good time tonight. It's been very nice hanging out. Let's see. Kimberly said using the good stuff. That was definitely one thing we talked about. Let me put that your name on that. All right. And that, my friends, is it for tonight. It's been a long one. It's been a very long one. I got to go do my Duolingo because I'm running out of time. So thank you all so much. Jennifer said your family's surprise plowing. That was absolutely very nice too. Thank you. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will do this again tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, then on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and then Thursday and Friday again, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So we hope you'll join us. We look forward to seeing you all again, and have a great one, y'all. Hope you really have a great day, great evening, and a great day tomorrow. And we'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody.